And we are live. You're watching us live on YouTube or you're watching replay. You know the deal if you've been here before. If you haven't, I'm going to be helping a handful of videographers grow their business all the way from client acquisition, getting clients through paid ads, to service delivery, getting their clients world-class results so that their clients continue to pay them month after month. If you get value from this video, like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And if you'd like to be a part of one of these coaching calls, if you scroll down to the description within this video, there's a link there. You can click that link and book a call to have a conversation with myself. Without further ado, hope you enjoy. There you go, Sharel.
Going on?
Come on, bro. What's going on? How you doing?
I'm blessed, man. I can't complain.
Yeah. Have a
Yes,
good.
sir. There we go. Awesome.
Did you have a good weekend, bro?
Yeah, I did, man. I did. Wait, how about you?
I'm chilling. I had a good weekend. I'm a little bit tired for the weekend.
You sound like you partied a little bit or something, man.
Had a few drinks. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It was good. It was good. Jalen, hope you're doing well.
Yeah, we cruising along here.
Yeah.
It's it's been interesting, like these sales calls, and discovery calls. I've had quite a few discovery calls, and that's why I had my question in the group about price, because that's always been coming up. People asking price. And
Mhm.
my main objection I'm over here trying to overcome is I've worked with marketing companies and they've burned me before. So
Mhm.
why, I'm scared to work with anybody else. And then the call this morning was with the roofer. He's currently committed through the end of the year. But I think my pride with him, he was convinced. It's just he didn't want the expense in addition to who he's working with now that's not getting him the results that he wanted. So like he hadn't even seen the ad that they were running for him. And I was like, what's the name of your thing? And I was like, I can look it up. And it's a static ad. He knew it was a static ad, but he said he'd never seen it. And I was
Mhm.
like, wow. And I told him, I was like, hey, well, if you want to switch over, I said, one of the things would be to ask him, how many of these leads are converting, things like that. I asked a few more other details. And he was like, oh, okay. It was like an old school guy. He's been in business 40 years. And he just started doing like any kind of marketing last June or July, he said. So
Mhm.
this is all new for him.
Yeah. 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 We'll talk more, but I'm glad you came on smiling, which is a good sign, right? The fact that you're getting the reps in and getting the, experiences in. And I know the big thing for us, I know just taking a step back is like not even getting leads. And so now you're in a place where you're actually like having these conversations, but now you're in a challenge of like, okay, well, how do I navigate these
Hmm.
the right way? And so pricing and this and that. And, we'll do a little bit of pop quiz and stuff, that falls into certainly one of the four kinds of archetypes, the people that have been burned in the past, there's a way to deal with them and handle that. But it's a good sign. It's a good sign. The fact that we have people that are interested, it's just about kind of getting them over the edge and maybe giving them going a little bit outside of the box in terms of thinking to get them over the edge, right?
Yeah.
So we'll talk about some of those things. But like if a guy's already spending 4,000 a month, that's a good sign, right? Just
Yeah. Yeah. It is.
imagine landing one of those guys.
Yeah, he just said it's real competitive in his area, and I was like, but not everybody's running ads or getting their brand out there in his area. So, and he could expand. He said his team actually is lives where I am in the capital city of Alabama, Montgomery, and drives down every day for jobs for him. And I'm like, shoot, you could expand to my city if your crew is here, So, but yeah.
Good, good. Well, I'm excited to talk more about that.
Mm.
Um, Mac, hope you're doing well. Mr. Mason.
Yeah, I'm doing good.
Good, good. Okay, guys. Well, um, we'll pivot to our, regular scheduled program, going over questions, answers, all that good stuff. But while we have Mason here, well, we have our guest of honor. Let's give him our undivided attention and let him bless us with some wisdom. I know everybody here has an idea of who Mason is, but Mason used to be very hands-on back in 2021, 22, until he kind of took off with his own agency and the personal training space. And so I think this would be cool for you guys to get to know him a little bit better. And again, just like as many golden nuggets you guys can take. I don't know if you guys have something to write on. Me and Mason talked a little bit about how we want to do today. And at the end of the day, like, when you're going through something might seem common sense to you, but then it might seem not common sense to other people. So he might go through something a little bit faster, but it's on us to write down our questions so that we can sit on it a little bit for longer and have him dive a little bit deeper. So during each section, he's going to kind of go through it and then he's going to kind of ask, like, do a temp check with you guys. But it's on us as a group to sit there and ask him questions before he moves on. Okay, guys? So listen intently, write your questions down, all that good stuff. Okay. Okay. Mr. Mason, just abracadabra, alakazam, poofed out of here for no reason. There he is.
Yeah,
But
sorry about that. I was a little shy.
oh, you shy? No way. Get out of here.
No, I'm just fucking with you guys.
But,
Should we wait for anyone else, or you want me to just kind of jump into things?
are you on a time crunch, bro?
Um, I kind of am, but I can wait like 10 minutes or so if you feel like someone else is gonna show up that you feel like this would be valuable for.
Yeah, I know Ryan, he said he was gonna show up within 30 minutes. I know he's really looking forward to this. But I'm sure he can kind of watch the replay. I guess like
Okay.
while I mean, we can wait like maybe a few minutes before you get started, but I guess maybe a good thing is before you start talking, Mason, Cheryl, Jalen, Mac, do you guys have some things top of mind that you want to learn so that Mason knows before you get started? Maybe that'll help Mason know.
Yeah, if there's anything specific that you think would be beneficial for you, like let me know because chances are like what you guys are struggling with now is something that either something I still struggle with or something that I had to overcome in some way, and I can kind of show you how I overcame that. So if there's anything like top of mind for you guys, let me know and I'll make sure that like during the presentation I can hit it as well.
Yeah, do you have anything, Cheryl? Anything top of mind?
Nothing like top of mind, really just uh information knowledge is more so, listening. I feel like I would have questions like after. But because I really know anything as far as like about because I don't know if Coach she told you like that's what I want to get into is personal training and all of that type of stuff. So like my mind is like really fascinated with it. But it's more so like I said, just I'm excited to hear you talk about, your journey and everything like that, but nothing like top of mind as far as like right now, as far as question wise specifically. So
When you
Yeah.
say like you want to get into personal training, do you want to be like a personal trainer or do you mean like you want to be like a marketer for personal
like a
training?
marketer for him.
Okay.
Marketer
I just want to make sure I'm understanding.
Yeah.
I think
He's
my
got
question. Oh my.
Yeah, Shirel has a cousin, so he was thinking about doing some stuff for his cousin, and kind of building his chops there. And he's kind of asked, he's been looking into different niches and stuff like that.
Mm.
We're still in a place where we gotta get him to do some service delivery within the six-figure six. We have a few clients before I'm like, okay, cool, man, I think you're ready to niche down. Mac, you were saying something, bro?
Yeah, I'm just more in the situation with the integration part with the go high level and just trying to understand that a little bit. I did talk to a support person and they kind of helped me. I see they can be very informational, but I'm kind of like in that limbo area because I have to get approved. And then mm, maybe this could be already understood like to get my business aligned and I can update all the information, personal information and stuff that's already in it. Um, so I don't think that's just for you. And then uh, just like Cheryl said, I think it would be very informational just to kind of understand like how he went about, his process. Um, you said personal trainer. I was thinking like, hey, what about niching down? Like, what is I know you said we have to do a learning, but what's the pros between if you just be like, hey, I don't care, I'm just going to niche down to this because I'm interested in that topic, or do you prefer just to go through a sales, do a couple calls before you even niche down? Because that's kind of my thought because I'm been thinking about niching down and just being like, hey, I'm into I'm into teeth, I'm into like I like a smile, I pay attention to hygiene or I pay attention to this. So when I'm out, I be looking at people like, "Yeah, you ain't brush your teeth," but don't quote me. Just saying, I really do. I do. I sometimes be like, "Yo, your breath's hot," but I'm into that hygiene. I'm going to the dentist on Wednesday, so I'm thinking like, "Hey, I can talk to my dentist because I've already put her in my thought process when I first originally seen your content." I was like, "Yo, I've been knowing my dentist for like some years now." I knew her mom. Her mom was actually the person who was my dentist, and then she left, and her daughter took over. So it's like I have a little bit of rapport there, but I just was just that's kind of really my angle. But I'm very excited, but I want to know more information on how you went about your process, and maybe I can defeat some things that's later in the process because I don't know anything, to be honest.
Mhm.
Solid
Yeah.
stuff. Solid stuff. Yeah. We'll talk more about niching down, Mac. I think it's a similar conversation I'm having with Shao right now. Like the way you kind of brought it up, very similar. So I'm going to kind of tell you the same thing I'm telling him. But I like where your head's at in terms of like looking at these different people, like you said, the optician and some of these other people. Like you have some opportunities that you can explore. So that's good stuff.
Uh,
Um,
I will say though, Coach Sheik, the one I just thought of a question for Mason. Mason, what and you can answer this in your presentation, but what made you specifically choose um teachers? What made you
Mhm.
specifically choose that? I know it has to deal with, being able to afford, making sure that whoever you're targeting can afford what but what made you specifically say that instead of like business owner or busy professional, that too as well. So,
Yeah, I'll definitely talk about that in there because that's kind of one of the main takeaways and how I actually came to find that. Because it wasn't something I just was like, oh, this is out of the blue. I'm just gonna fucking pick this thing. You know what I mean? And I'll talk about like why I did what I did. But like leading up to it, that'll kind of be like the huge like unlock. Because that's what really got me from like making a little bit and to making a shitload of money. Like that little switch.
yeah.
But essentially just give you like a short-term answer.
Save
You
it, save it, save it, save it, save it. Mason, save it, save
okay.
it, save it. Let's build up to it.
Okay. Yeah, dude, I don't want you to climax yet, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
He was about to go in.
hey, he
Um
was right. His finger started moving. I knew he was.
yeah. Yeah.
Jalen, do you have something top of mind for Mason before he gets started?
Not necessarily because I don't know much about your journey besides what you just said, so I'm all ears. I guess, where I'm at is, overcoming objections with when I'm on a sales call. So I've worked with a marketing company before. That's one of my
Sure.
biggest ones that I keep getting. So if you have any similar stories, I would appreciate
Mhm.
listening to those.
Yeah, because what I'll do, and we'll start here in a second, but like I'm gonna go through like before I even joined the program. So you're gonna get a lot of like backstory detail, how I went about the cinema marketing cheat code when I was inside, and then transferring over like all of the things that I've done to present day, why I made those decisions, and some I fucked up on, and some that I did really well on. And I kind of want to give you the shortcut and learn from my mistakes because like I made a fuckload of them. But overall, it's like if I can give you guys those little golden nuggets where I fucked up, maybe you guys won't do that, and it will fast track your success.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Cool. All right, guys. Riviera, hope you're doing well, bro. We're gonna go ahead and hand it over to Mason. Mason, if you want to go ahead and get started, man, I think it's a good time to start. And guys, please write questions down, all that stuff down, and so we can interject as Mason finishes kind of each kind of like chapter, if you will. But Mason, it's all you, man.
Yeah. I just sent access to share my screen. I don't know if you got that, but I didn't put
Right.
anything too crazy together, but I wanted to put something together so you guys could at least see. Let me just throw this in the bottom and throw that to the side. Slideshow. Can you guys see my screen here?
Yep.
Okay. I don't know where to put this. Maybe right there is fine. All right, give me 1 second. Alrighty. So if you guys have any questions, by the way, like as I'm going through this, I want to make this a little bit more interactive as well. So if you have any questions as I go from slide to slide, like feel free to say, Mason, put a sock in it. And I want to make sure that if you have a question, I get that answered so you have 100% clarity. So before I kind of jump into things and kind of tell you all the decisions that I've made to run my business currently today, like I feel like we need to kind of go back to put myself in kind of your guys' shoes to show you, where I was when I initially started my journey. Um, so I used to get paid $600 a week for my paycheck. I was making $2,400 every single month. Now consistently I'm hitting over 50K every single month. Um, and that's just safe numbers. Last month I made 70K. Okay. Um, let's see how I can do this here. So initially when I started my journey, I had a career in graphic design. Like transparently, I had a midlife crisis in senior year of college. I didn't know really what I was going to do. I knew I had a passion for videography or just like how things looked in general. But overall, I had like no clue what I wanted to do. And I was a senior and I was just like, what am I going to do? Like, I need a career. What am I going to spend the rest of my life doing? So I was really passionate in terms of like videography, and I didn't have a lot of money at the time because I was just a stupid broke college kid. And somehow I convinced one of my buddies to lend me some money so that I could purchase my first camera. Um, Once I had that camera, I was like really hungry. I was really inspired by Daniel Schiffer, if you guys know who that is, kind of like the B-roll and style of it. I see you nodding your head, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. I love those videos. That's all I wanted to do. So I would just knock on doors of businesses in my local area and be like almost essentially begging them, like, please, can I shoot you a video? And after doing that for like literally 1 week, one of the owners of a business that I went to initially, which was a restaurant, was working with a marketing agency. And they told me if I did a good job, they would essentially network and they would put me with the guy that owned the agency. And that's how I landed my first job as a videographer under a marketing agency. So I think in every person's entrepreneurship journey, there's like a shift. There's a moment in time where you kind of put your foot down and draw the line in the sand, take responsibility for your situation, and it's kind of the entrepreneurship blood that you need to have in order to make this work. So this was mine. I don't know if anyone can relate to this, but personally, this is what happened to me. So each of the departments inside the marketing agency had their own billing department. Something happened with our billing specialist. He had some mental health crisis issue. And then overnight, each and every single department inside of the agency had to handle its own billing. So that's when I really saw the math in real time. So I was already burnt out. I loved shooting. I I liked editing, but with the style that I was shooting, it took minimal effort in terms of actually editing and put it together. And I loved that part of the job. That's what was like the artwork and the art form for me. Right. But essentially what had happened was it turned out to be like going into story blocks and Envato elements and creating all of these B-roll style videos that I was not passionate about whatsoever. Then I felt like a robot. I didn't feel like a videographer anymore. Then what really snapped and made me really pissed off is I had to stay at work after hours till 9 p.m. one day. And then I had to do the billing on Friday, and I did over $14,000 worth of work by myself, to which then I got a paycheck for $600. And that like really boiled me. It pissed me off because I knew I was talented. I knew I deserved more. I was being overworked and I was doing something that I didn't want to do anymore, which originally was a passion for me. Like I loved videography. I don't think any of you guys would be in here if it wasn't an art form for you and something that you genuinely love doing. And it just killed it for me. So I took the leap, and obviously that's why I'm here today. I thought to myself, if I can get paid $2,400, that's all I need. If I can get one person to pay me that, I can replace my job and I don't have to feel like I'm on the rat race anymore, the hamster wheel. So having this frustration, scrolling through Instagram one day, this dude pops up on my feed. I was in so much pain that I was like, I have to click this. I have to see what's going on. Then within a couple of months after working with Koshik, I said, fuck it. I quit the agency and I went full time. I had no safety net. All I had was conviction and a camera. Like that's literally it. I had to put my back against the wall. But I want to tell you guys a little bit about my journey inside the CMCC and tell you what I did wrong and kind of my journey and what that looked like. So I ran the 6 figures in 6 week sales funnels the same way that you guys did. And one of the tips and piece of advice that Koshik gave me is if it has a pulse, sell it. Okay. Um, I don't remember exactly how many deals it was. I'm just guesstimating here, but within like a week's time, I think I closed like 7 to 10 deals. Um, it was it was crazy too. I didn't niche down. It was just everything in my local area. Anything from gyms, fucking bass fishing, hair salons, a uniform store, power washing, and e-commerce. It was literally everything under the sun. If it had a pulse, I would try to sell it. And you're talking to someone that had extreme anxiety issues where I used to be the kid in the class that even if the teacher raised like called me out, even when I had my hand raised and I was simply volunteering, my face would get beat red. Like I'm very introverted, but I was so passionate about making this a reality for me. What really led me to where I am today is the conviction and the passion. Like I suck at sales, or I should say sucked. But because I was so passionate about this and had the conviction, that did the selling for me. Does that make sense? Do you guys feel like you get on calls and you don't feel confident in yourself because you don't know if you're going to get that client results? Has anyone felt that?
Yeah. Yeah, I think most of the guys here.
It's kind of fake it till you make it, but also in a way, none of us would be here today if we would have got on that call with Koshik and had him say, I think I can help you. For example, Jalen, with that roofer, the reason they're waiting off and maybe not going and moving forward with you is the fact that they don't see that you're fully convicted. And when you're fully convicted and you're in a place of abundance and it doesn't matter if you close the deal or not, that's when they will come to you. But it's the conviction. Conviction sells. Does that make sense?
100%, bro.
But that's when I realized passion wasn't enough. Okay. It doesn't matter how good your service is. It doesn't matter if you're the best personal trainer. It doesn't matter if you're the best dentist or you make people have the best smile. Like, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you can sell shit. Like, that's it. If you cannot sell, it doesn't matter. Okay. So if I could go back into time, there's two things I would do, and I would do them in this order. I would niche down and then I would study sales. I would niche down quicker, I should say. Okay. And study sales. That's it. That's the only two skills that I would focus on. And a place where we can get anxiety from or something that holds us back is the fact that once we sign the client, it's like, what do we do? But also, we're operating at a place where it's like, when I become a millionaire, where am I going to spend my money? It's like, we need to get the $1 million first. Therefore, we know how to spend it after. But if we're so focused on one area that doesn't drive the business forward, essentially, we're not making an ROI with our time. Like I was talking with Kashika the other day about this. Dude, I have a timer on my desk. Okay. I learned this from Hormozy, but it's like you need to map your time and use it for the most high leverage things and opportunities that will put money in your pocket. Like that's it. Don't overcomplicate it. And I promise you, the thing that you're avoiding doing is the thing that you need to do. Therefore, being someone that wasn't good at sales, didn't have confidence in themselves, that was something I avoided for a very long time. So the thing most likely that you're avoiding to do right now is the thing that you need to do. And it sounds scary, but like that is entrepreneurship. Does that make sense? So overall, the deals I closed, this is the problem that I ran into. Okay. I ran ads without really setting proper expectations with the business owner. My service delivery was all over the place. I couldn't really retain the clients I brought in. And I thought that every failure that I got was me. But in reality, it was a focus problem. Okay, because every single business out there is so intricate and each detail is minute, which we're going to get into later. But overall, all of that knowledge, all of that information is super important. Whatever business you choose to market for, you should be better than the business owner. Does that make sense?
Yep.
But for me, my issue was I was digging 15 holes that were 1 foot down as opposed to taking one spade and not stopping. Eventually, that's something that I caught on to, though. And that was a mistake that I made. Okay. Not saying that if you're actually being coherent and understanding like why you're doing what you're doing, that being a little bit different. For example, go on 30 dates before you marry somebody. What I was doing is I was just going on as many dates as humanly possible without even wanting to get married. The intention is different. So it's okay to kind of explore and dip your toes into the waters to kind of take a look at what it would be like to work with different business owners to see what you're passionate about. But also at the end of the day, what I will tell you is picking one thing, there's going to be goods, there's going to be pros, there's going to be cons. It doesn't matter what the fuck you pick. Like there's always going to be something great about it, there's always going to be something bad about it. Always. There's no such thing as a perfect niche. Whoever says that is selling you a lie. There's always something.
Say that one more time. There's
Mhm.
no perfect niche. They all suck, right?
There's no perfect niche. They all suck. There's pros and cons to every single one of them. So you have to get out of your head the fact that like, oh, I just need to pick the best niche. It's like, no, that's not the case. There's enough fish to feed you. Like, should it be something that you're passionate about? Yes. But overall, I kind of have a different point to that in terms of picking one. So I'm going to save that for a second because this is what helped me. Okay. Make sense?
Yep.
So this is funny, but I feel like this really needed to be included. So just a backstory and kind of my turning point when I first initially started to niche down. Okay. So there was a guy I met, his name was Jared. Okay. Um, he owned a gym in my local area. He's someone that I closed with the 6-figure, 6-week business. Okay. What I learned working with him was respect is given, respect is made through effort. Like, even though you're not getting someone tangible results all the time, doesn't mean that they don't respect you and they won't want to hire you and keep working with you. Because if you have their best intention in mind, they're going to want to continue to work with you through a partnership to make sure that you can get them to the place where you want to go. So, although I wasn't confident in my service delivery, this guy really liked me because the fact that I was relentless, that I was going to do everything in my power, including spending my own money if I had to, in order to get him clients. And that's why we had such a good relationship with him. But overall, something happened personally in my life that really stunted my growth, which was a breakup. And it seems vulnerable sharing now, but it's one of the most important parts about my journey. And it's the fact that your personal life and your business life are combined. Okay. So it's like what affects you in business affects you outside of business and vice versa. If you're someone that doesn't go to the gym and you're avoidant, you're probably avoiding something in your business. Straight up. Like that's what I learned. But also, like I'm not kidding when I say this, I did nothing for 2 years straight. And this kind of leads me to a very, very important point. Because I've invested in a lot of mentors other than just Koshik. Koshik was my first ever. Koshik popped my cherry. Clip that. Um, but truthfully, like actually not kidding, just like jokes aside for a second, Koshik never gave up on me, even when I'd given up on myself. Like I was depressed, I threw in the towel. And this was a point like after the coaching program. Like I already paid him the 5 grand. It was it. It was over. Like my time period with the Cinema Marketing G Code at that moment in time was done. But I was telling him what was going on and staying in touch. And he sent me hours, like actually, of like Loom videos going over his own hardships, completely unpaid, just showing up for me. And although that moment in time I didn't make change and I was still static to that moment, like I appreciate the hell out of that. So just a side note is like find a mentor that actually gives a fuck about you because mentors give you the shortcut. That's the fastest way for growth. And it's funny because I actually found the screenshot, Koshik. I don't know if you actually saw this or not, but April 30th of 2022, I reached out to Alex Hermosi and he actually responded to me with literally 7 words. You can't, she has to want to.
Yeah.
That's even before the breakup. But the reason I wanted to bring this up, like I said, was because your personal life and your business life, they interact with each other. And what you let allow affect your personal life will affect your business and vice versa. So if you have goals, like be relentless about them. Because that's the only thing that matters. You can't break up with your goals unless you're a quitter. And if you're a quitter, you shouldn't be here. Like I was. Okay. So this is really a pivotal moment that changed the trajectory of the business and the way that I ran it. So, a big point that I want you guys to really understand is success leaves behind clues. And if you turn your business into a repeatable process, you've won. I'm going to repeat that again because that's super fucking important. Success leaves behind clues. Turn your business into a repeatable process and you've won. Can you guys see how that's impossible working with 17 different business owners?
Yeah.
Okay. So documentation changes everything. So I ran Alex Hormozi's 6 week challenge. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but I did it with a personal trainer with a twist. Essentially, I copied his offer and made it mine. AKA, I read the book front to back, A through Z. And I even went as far as being relentless enough to book calls with gym marketing agencies, posing as a gym owner to collect as much information as I could. Like, that's how fucking petty I was, trying to figure this stuff out so I could be successful. Not only that, but I sat on every single consult that I was able to get Jared, having it in person, literally sitting in the corner of the room on a couch and writing down every single word that they've said. Like I did that. I have the notes. I don't know where they are, but I literally have a notebook full of them. And the reason I did that is because I want to figure out what worked. So for example, Jalen, where you're like, hey, this business owner that's a roofer said this to me. I wrote that down and I went back to a mentor and I could be like, hey, how do I overcome this thing? I write it down, I never forget it. And what I'll tell you is if you're only working with roofers, you'll learn something or a way or analogy that you can say it to truly get that avatar to understand. Because the way that you talk to a business owner is a lot different than you would talk to a different business owner. For example, gym people are more laid back, chill, you can swear with them, etc. Same thing with maybe a construction worker. But for example, if you're going to work with a dentist, probably not the best idea to swear. Like you're working with a fucking nerd. Respectfully. Not actually, but you know what I mean. Um, but overall, like when I went this far in depth with Jared, I had to physically drop 90% of my clients just to do this. And that was one of the biggest moments for me because that's when I realized that I was digging in those holes and I wasn't just digging straight down the way I should have been. Okay. Um, and kind of just like the backstory as well with this is like when I was going through that 2 year static period, the only thing that got me out of bed and doing things was the gym. Like all I wanted was like this revenge or something. I don't know. I just want to be like the best personal, best version of me, I guess you could say. And that's when I got passionate with the gym. And out of all the things that I was partnered up with, that's why I stayed with this one. Because I was passionate about it at the time and it changed my life. Plus I had a spontaneous pneumothorax in college. Long story short, I couldn't breathe one day. I had emergency surgery. I'm here today, so we're all good. But health is something I was always passionate about. So within a year of doing this, we went from one gym location to 3. because we technically what we did is we took all of the leads out of the local area so fast, so quickly, sold them into consults that the next logical thing to do was open up another business somewhere else. And the only reason I was able to do that is because I funnel hacked, I wrote down the words on the consults, and I got obsessive. I knew what to say to sell somebody, even though that I didn't even work for the business. Therefore, I knew what to say in the marketing, how to get people to show up, what issues that they would have, how to get them financed. Like so many different things, so many different variables that I could have never been able to do if I wasn't inside the business. So it's not just, hey, I'm gonna run your ads. It's I'm gonna run your ads. I'm gonna understand your avatar better than you do. I'm gonna figure out how to sell them, etc. Because, for example, if I worked with another gym tomorrow and I was able to get them the leads, I have the conviction that I have, and I know my system works. They cannot physically come back to me and tell me it doesn't work. They can't. And that's where you get that conviction from as well. Because if you know how to do it yourself, that's when you delegate. You can give that thing to other people. But the system has to be proven first. In order to prove that, I didn't want to just think it was luck. So that's why we started the second location. Then he made a lot of money and said, well, we should start a third. And I said, oh, okay. So I did it 3 times. I knew it worked after filling up 3 gyms in 3 different local areas of mine. Any questions with that?
I do want to go over a few things for you guys. So there's something Mason's saying about like 15, 17 holes versus like one hole and going super deep, right? And there's a rhyme reason behind the 6 figure 6 weeks and starting with you guys out with it versus like, again, Mason had the same journey. I wrote that down here in the comments if you guys have a look. It says general to and personal trainer. So basically, as you guys know, Mason did a bunch of different niches and then he pivoted to the personal trainer, right? In-person personal trainer. And again, if you want to succeed at anything at a high level, just straight up like Jalen, Shirel, Max, you guys all here, like, oh, like you guys have all heard, like, again, Jalen, you're from a few different programs. Oh, just land a bunch of local clients and get them. Like, bro, it ain't that simple. Like that is a scam. It is a scam. You're hearing it directly from him. I'm telling you, it's not true. It's not real. It's not sustainable. But you cannot do that. And so Mason had a bunch of reps from a bunch of different niches, and then he pivoted to the personal trainer one. And again, Mason, there's some things like, for example, the breakup, him being really into fitness at the time. Again, he got super into fitness, and then having a bond with this person that was kind of like a mentor to him because of all those reasons, he wanted to just get really, and then just wanted to get really good results. You have no choice as a byproduct to remove all the other clients because you just can't. But it is important that you guys do know, like with the other clients, like for example, the one like his godfather that owned like that store, he was making that guy money. When it came to like, some Amazon e-commerce one, he was making that person money.
All of them.
He was
All of them I was making
yeah.
money. Yeah.
So Cheryl, are you hearing this by the way? Okay, good, Charles. So basically the reason I bring all this up is, yes, Mason is talking about going super deep, but the thing is, I'm going to keep it real with you, and Mason, you can attest this. Mason would not have had the level of success he had with the personal trainer in person without having at least dabbled in some of that shit before. When he met with Jared, it's like he's not starting from scratch, like, oh, what is a campaign? What is an ad? Like he's not start he had already done so many reps, he had made people so much money already, so that by the time he started with this person, he was able to go much further. So he went from like a 0 to like a 6 or 5 by the time he went to Jared. So when he met Jared, he was already at a 5. He just went to like a 7, 8, 9, right? So he didn't start from 0. So don't hear what Mason's not saying. Mason's not saying straight up just like niche down. Like, yes, it's important niche down. Yes, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But,
The
but like
skills,
you
the
have some basic skills. It's like you're not going to go to calculus without learning how to add or subtract. He had to add, subtract with all the other niches. So by the time he went to Jared, he was good. And then on top of that, a big part of his success is market research. So Jalen, we talked about that. I was like, there's no way. No, you don't come up with something. You don't come up with an ad. You don't come up with that. So what did Mason do? Mason did market research. He figured out what the the 6 week challenge that Hormozy was doing. He read the damn book front to back. And then when he did work with Jared, he was recording all the calls. He was doing all the damn. He was in there working the damn leads. He was bringing them into the establishment. That's the level of depth you have to go. That is the level of depth you have to go. If I said this shit to Cody, it'd scare the fuck out of him. That's the truth. All right. You guys remember Cody from the other day. Um, and then because of that, because of his experience here, and I don't want to spoil it because I want to let Mason talk for himself, but like getting to online personal training, which is what he's doing right now, he this was a pivotal part of getting to online personal training. So it's like there's levels to this. So the 6 figure 6 week, built a bunch of basic skills, niche down here, learn market research, all that stuff, took a bunch of calls, went fucking super depth. Now moving on to online personal training, then there's multiple levels here as well. It's a fucking stepping stone, right? And so again, a big part of it is just like the market research and going deep. Like you have to go really deep. If you want to be at that level, if you want $1 million agency, if you want to hit tens of thousands of dollars, there is so much depth you have to go into. And so remember, one of the things I wrote down here is 100 variables in just one niche. Again, you're talking 100, like all these kinds of leads, and he's probably bucket them into different people. Okay, this person I'm gonna have to use client, or this person I'm gonna have to do this person I'm gonna have to do. There's like 100 different variables. There's no way to do 100 variables in 20 niches. It is impossible, right? So those are just a few things I want to get at. Is like I've told you guys a lot. Market research, going super in depth. There's a shit ton of variables. There's only so much time and energy to focus. You got to go heavy on market. You got to pay attention to what happened. A lot of people they just want to set up some ads for some people and good luck. No, set up the ads. Work the fucking leads yourself. Have calls. Be willing to spend like that's the level of depth. Everybody here is like, oh, I just want to hit my first 10,000. Okay, cool. That's fine. But unless you do what Mason is doing, you will never hit $1 million. That is the level of effort that is required. Just straight up. It is what it is. You have to be. So again, everybody that's here, you guys are all in a similar place, which is, yeah, you got to fucking like learn how to add and subtract, help a few people, but understand that when you decide on the niche, when you decide on the thing that you're going to do, this is the level of commitment that's required. So it's like what I'm kind of getting you guys to do is like go out there, fucking go out there, meet a bunch of people, figure out what the fuck you like. And then when you have selected, okay, this is the girl I want to marry, this is the guy I want to marry. That's analogous to Mason niching down or working with Jared and just going super in depth. And that's like a fucking 2 year relationship, right? That's the level of depth. So those are just a few things I wanted to throw in there, Mason.
Yeah, essentially just to piggyback off that, skills are very much so stackable. It's kind of like once you learn how to write, then you go to sentences, then you go to paragraphs, then you go to essays. So like for example, one of the people that I worked with that was at the uniform store, essentially I learned how to do like text message marketing. Then once I figured out how to do that, knowing that like, oh, I'm gonna do market research and I'm gonna figure out and see what ads work. It's like, how can I make sure that I can buy myself more time so that it takes a second, obviously, to get those ads running up and going. So what can I do in the meantime to make sure that I'm getting this guy an ROI immediately and getting a first win, aka taking my retention from 1 month to two almost immediately without even launching ads? So that's what I did. It's like then I researched social text message marketing. I figured that out. And then I was able to copy and paste the same system. Like I said before, success leaves behind clues, repeatable process. All I had to do is switch the offer and a little bit of the messaging, and it worked in every business. I know right now if I could go to a local business right now and I could still run it today and it would still work. It's just a little bit of tweaking the messaging. So is there any questions before I jump into this, like when I started to transition online?
Yeah, do you guys have, I know I chimed in there quite a
Yeah.
bit. You guys have questions before Mason now share. So he went from general 6 figure 6 weeks to the personal trainer in person. Now he's going to share how he went online. Do you guys have questions leading up until where he's going to go to now?
I have a question in regards to what you just said.
Mhm.
For the text message marketing, is that something that's already incorporated in the Go High level, or is that the same? We can utilize that same tactic, now since you said that's one of the ways, or could be one of the ways.
So it should, is it still inside the CMCC, Koshi?
Yeah. So Mac, this is something that is inside of the course. So if you go inside the course, I'm gonna just really quick. I want to let Mason do his thing. It is section It is section 6E. So that's what Mason's talking about. So Mason created the course material that he was doing for his clients. So
Yeah.
section 6E goes over the SMS campaign that he's talking about.
Okay, cool.
hmm Some of the things that it might be outdated just because it's been a while, but overall, understanding the concepts of it will definitely work. Like I know it
Yeah.
will work.
Yeah, that's kind of like what I was kind of guaranteed, like just to understand the concept of what you're saying because it can,
hmm
yeah, okay, cool.
hmm Um, so I I had a realization that, I at that point I didn't necessarily like niche down into gyms, but I knew the direction which I was heading. Like I knew where I wanted to go, and then I had that question myself is like, how is this thing scalable? Right? I knew I could run ads to gyms, etc. But overall, what I decided to do is work with PTs. And I knew that if this could work in person, then it must also work online. Plus, knowing that business model is way more scalable. Plus, I don't have to speak to business owners. The market share is a lot, there's a lot more people inside of that market. Therefore, I could take somebody that wasn't making any money at all, putting money in their pocket and then charging them a percentage of it. That's what I wanted to do. So what I did after I learned all the skills from Jared is I took it up and I packaged it. And then essentially what I did is I ran my own ads online. And I was like, are you a personal trainer that has X, Y, and Z going on? And then I offered them a free trial. And the reason I did that, why? It's because I didn't know if the shit was going to work online. I had a pretty good idea it would, but I didn't know for certain. So I had to figure that out. Um, so I signed, I don't know, maybe 5 to 10 clients that were online PTs. I had to learn how to navigate the messaging, how to get them on the call with me from the DMs, what specific things I had to say, what I had to say in the ads, how much it was to book a trial, for them to sign on, etc. Like there's a lot of different nuances of it. But overall, I wanted to start with an offer that was so strong that it felt stupid saying no. AKA, I'm gonna write your ads, I'm gonna launch your ads, I'm gonna edit your ads, I'm gonna do the DM conversations for you. And then originally, what was super funny is I had them take their own sales calls and I would record them. I would either be on the call with them or I would sell their leads and just give it to them. That was my offer. It's like who in their right mind says no to that? And the reason I did that is because I wanted to figure out how to do it without any of the client fulfillment in terms of like actually coaching them. Because I wanted to know how the entire operating system went from like A to X, to which then they can, I'm alley-ooping the ball, and essentially all they're doing is putting the ball in the basket. I wanted all of that covered so I could go back to the same repeatable process that I had before, but with Jared. So there was a lot of people that I met, but then I also realized that there's a lot of different nuances and a lot of different businesses. AKA, which niche am I working with? What does their ad have to look like? And there's so many different variables. So with that being said, I had a student essentially that was doing everything that I said word for word, had a lot of passion, wasn't necessarily lagging behind and implementing everything that I said. But before we get on to like that and more of that, what I wanted to say is like when you go into niching down, because I knew someone had a question about this, sometimes what's really good to do is look at your own history and help the previous version of you. Therefore, for example, if you used to mow lawns, as stupid as it fucking sounds, you would be great at helping landscaping companies or lawn care companies do their marketing because you understand their language, how to mow lawns, what they're priced at, the square feet, how to talk to the customers. Like all of these little minute details matter so much more than you think and give you the leverage over every single person else that's marketing to them. So, for example, what you'll see online is a lot of the personal trainers that help personal trainers scale their businesses online either ran their own personal training business before, or they were a personal trainer, or they were like an in-person personal trainer and not online yet. And because success leaves behind clues, what I decided to do was do the exact same thing. So I partnered with one of my clients. And it was awesome too because I didn't know that this was going to work. But also, I want to bring this up. There was one specific ad that I got to work for everybody. And that to me, in that moment of time, was the most powerful thing ever. And the reason it was powerful is because it didn't matter what niche it was, who was running the ad, it guaranteed leads. Therefore, it didn't matter who signed up with me, I was automatically going to get everyone I worked with results. Okay.
Really quick, I just want to kind of summarize a few things
Mhm.
before Mason goes on. Um, so so hopefully you guys are following along in terms of he was with Jared, the in-person personal trainer. After he had worked with Jared, and remember, he was obsessed not about making money. He was obsessed with how do I learn and get this person better results. That person then opened up multiple gyms. So at this point, tens of thousands of dollars, Mason had already made somebody. Then he goes from in-person personal trainer to like, okay, I want to help online personal trainer. So he launches an ad. It was a DM ad. It wasn't into a call funnel or anything like that. It was literally just like a very simple ad. Hey, if you're a personal trainer, I'll help you get results. I'll script your ad. I'll create edit your content. I'll do this, all that stuff. Book below, click the ad, DM me. He would hop on calls. Again, I wrote down here in the comments, he didn't care about making money. He didn't care about any of that stuff. It wasn't
Got
about
it.
that. It was just let me sell people. And then here's the other big thing to understand. Again, I'm looking at people like you, Shiro, right now, which is like, okay, like, hey, what do I do? How do I set that? He doesn't fucking know. All he knows is I got some results from this in-person personal trainer. I'm gonna try to apply that shit to an online personal trainer, but it's probably not gonna be the exact same. I don't give a fuck. I have confidence, I have conviction I'm gonna figure it out because of his previous experience. I'm just gonna trial by fire. Every single person I take on is like I'm keeping it real with you guys. Every single client is a guinea pig. Every single client is a guinea pig. You guys here are 100 plus of you guys here. I've had 100 plus guinea pigs, which is why I speak the way I do, which is why I talk the way I do, which is why I speak with conviction. But I wasn't like this for the first 20 clients. No, not even close. I had to figure it out. And again, you guys heard the experience with Cody. That's 100 plus 150 down the road, and I learned that lesson. Right. So you're going to it's important that you understand that every single client you take on, and here's the number. If you guys want to write this down, it's 30 clients. In my experience, 30 clients is when you start figuring out, oh, I know what the fuck I'm doing. 30. And you know what 30 clients is? 30 clients is 150 plus sales calls. Until
Mhm.
you guys have taken 150 motherfucking sales calls, you don't know shit. Just straight up, it is what it is. Until you have spoken to 150 people in a particular niche, you're not going to know shit about sales, service. You're just not going to, there's so much more to learn. I should say you're not going to learn shit. What I mean is, it's going to take you 30 before you're like, oh, I get it now.
Mhm.
And so again, Mason, again, you guys should be up. That's why it's again, have fun with the six figures, guys. Try to make some money with it, whatever, because this is what lays ahead of you. When you're running an ad and you're just trying to, it's not even about making money the first, 6 months where it's just like, I want to get as many people as possible. I understand a lot of people are going to churn. I understand out of 10 people, I'm going to have one stud muffin. I'm going to have probably three duds and a few average people. Mason's nodding his head right there because he had a few people that were duds. He had a few people that suck balls, and he had like one or two people that were really successful. That's part of the game.
Essentially, like if I had two people that I was working with that were both PTs and I got them the same amount of leads, one of those PTs would close and be like, this is everything that I was looking for. What do I do to work with you? But then I also had the PT that got all of the leads, never having leads before and not closing the deal to still saying it was my fault.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like a bell curve. Like you're gonna have your average Andes, you're gonna have your great clients, then you're gonna have the losers. Like that just comes with the game. But
Well,
overall, something that I think would be important sharing as well, but maybe this is TMI, but I did it in a way where I wasn't losing money. So therefore, I would charge $500 for a trial. I would use $250 for that trial. And then in the actual ads that I ran for them, and then I pocketed the other 250 to go find someone else to do the trial for.
that's important information. Really quick, it's been so long, but now that you've mentioned, I haven't not thought about this for years,
Yeah,
guys.
that's fucking sauce. Like, I don't know if you guys just like caught what I just said, but it's super important.
So
I
he
was
would
writing it down. Go ahead and say that again.
So essentially, what I did is I charged $500 for a trial. And that's not just like me picking random numbers out of my ass. The reason I charged $500 for a trial because it was the least amount of money that I could charge someone to get them results for, but also knowing how much money it costed me to acquire someone to do the trial for. Okay. Fundamentally, what that means is I am getting paid or breaking even to acquire a customer that's going to potentially pay me multiple four figures.
So one more time, he's basically spending $250 to acquire somebody to do a trial. He's charging that person 500. Of that 500, 250 is going to acquire the next person. 250 is running ads for them, trying to help them make some money because he knows that a certain percentage of people are going to stay with them. He's going to be able to charge them 5 grand to stay with them 3, 4 months. So he's going in again, it's not about the money. It's about just getting people in and understanding a certain percentage of people are going to churn, but you only need 1 out of 10 people to pay you that 5 bands for you. Like, okay, I got my shark. I got the person I'm going to fuck with long term. So that was his mentality, guys. It's not about
Exactly.
those 10 people. It's not about making the money. Do the numbers. 500, 500, 500, 500, 500. You're not making profit from any single one of these until one of them pay you the 5 grand. Now it's like, okay, and then not only the person that's going to pay the 5 grand, usually that person knows how to work leads, knows how to close, is going to listen to Mason, or else why the hell would they pay Mason that 5 grand? So the people that did not even that churn with him, they're kind of doing him a favor by not even working with him down the road. And he had a few people that, by the way, I remember there was like 1 or 2 people where Mason made them money. They had made money, and they still didn't move forward with Mason. So they had
Yep.
paid Mason the $500 trial. He had made them more. He had made them like 3,000, and they still didn't move forward.
Yep.
Go ahead, Mason. There's some things maybe I think you were going to say, or Cheryl, you had a question.
That's
Yeah, I
interesting.
did. Well, two questions. Number one,
Mhm.
is that from Hormozy the way you did that? Because I was reading about that. Like he did like this. That he charged them like 600 that way to help pay for the next person. Basically, yeah, it's paying for itself at that point.
Client
Um,
Yeah. So, I mean,
He's talking about the client
I don't think
acquisition.
the concept is universally from him, but
uh,
ultimately it just came down to me not wanting to spend money to acquire more customers or go in the red.
got you,
Therefore, it's something I had to do.
got
So
you,
essentially the thought process that went through my mind is how do I acquire more customers without spending more money?
got you,
And that's what I
got
did.
you. It's kind of like how Coach Heat teaches. Basically, you're learning, you're getting paid to learn. Basically, your
As
ads and stuff is paying for itself. You're
learning
paying for your.
the first 1 to 2 years of learning how to run your own business should be straight just fucking learning, like nothing
Mhm.
else. Like the faster you can learn, the faster you can earn. Does that make sense?
Yep.
I found it interesting how some people will pay like the initial investment and then they won't re-up for the future. I found that interesting. Like they spend 500 and then if I understood correctly, some of them will like make 3,000 and they still don't end up signing. I found it interesting.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's multiple variables, right? Do they make money? Are they enjoying making the money? Is this important to them? Or do they have another business opportunity where they can make money? Do they like Mason? How hungry
Do they
are they?
want to,
There's so
even
many
though that
variables.
they pocketed 3K, do they want to spend five now?
Yeah,
So,
there's
so
multiple.
how did that work as far as free trial 500? Like how did that work where you could do that? If that
Like,
makes sense, like what I'm asking.
can you ask it in a different way, just so I can
Like,
understand?
so you said free trial, I'm gonna help you, basically, I'm gonna help you get leads and stuff, but
Hmm.
pay me 500. How did you get them to pay that 500 even though it was a free trial? That's what I'm saying.
Hmm. Yeah. So the first thing I did is essentially I had a discovery call with them after I set them in Instagram DMs. So it's just like text messaging. So inside the DMs, what I did is qualify them, see how they're getting customers currently, see what their income is, or see if they have any money to spend on ads. If they did have money to spend on ads and they could spend like 20, 30 bucks a day, which is not that much, like then ultimately it would be worth it. Then what I did is I got them on a sales call. Essentially, what I sold them on was a trial. So in that trial, what I said is I'm going to do all of these things for you. All it costs is $500. And then I just went through that sales process. And because all of the other things out there, like that they're getting marketed to, is charging them 5, 10K, this is the first thing inside of the market that someone was only charging $500 for. And because I've gotten the results before from previous clients, I continuously threw those in my presentation. So it was
Another
kind of like over evolving and evolving and evolving. But basically, it was just sales. But also, I had the conviction because after I got the first person results that I worked with, I was like, I can see this working for everybody else.
one thing I want to throw in there to answer your question, Shar. What I know what Shar was trying to get at, Mason. He's trying to get at like, yo, you're offering a free trial, and then how do you get someone to pay 500 where they think it's a free thing? So there's two things. One, the first thing Mason said is in the market, and this is where niche matters. In the market, all these personal trainers, whenever they hop on a call, they're trying to sell them a $5,000 thing. So they're used to being pitched a 5, 10, $15,000 thing. And here comes this Mason. He's like, oh, it's only 500. There's like, that's like a steal compared to whatever they're seeing. The second thing is the way Mason positioned, and Mason left this part out, so I'll throw this in for him, Mason, is
I
he
I
positioned
framed it. I framed it the same way as the set of marketing cheat code and said, "Hey, look, you don't have to pay me. You just pay Mark Zuckerberg." That's
exactly.
exactly how I did it.
So it's the $500 is not for me. The $500 is for Mark Zuckerberg. So you come
Oh,
in, I'm going to set up the ads, this. It's going to cost $500 in ad spend for me to get you results. They didn't need to know that he was pocketing 250. All they knew is there was some ad spend. And Mason, again, he divided the money up where he spent just enough to get them results and get them to believe so that they wanted to pay him the 5 grand down the road. And the other 250 he pocketed or spent to get the next client. So that's how he did it. So hopefully that makes
So
it's a DM ad. So the funnel, run a DM ad with the offer. He's literally just chilling, nothing fancy edited. Hey, if you're a personal trainer, you want this result, I'll do this. All you have to do is click the button below, DM. They DM him. Had a conversation inside the DMs to see who was qualified. If they were qualified, he pushed it to a discovery call. On the discovery call, he did his song and dance. He pushed it to a sales call. On the sales call, that's where he brought the 500. Then get the
oh,
results. I don't know how long Mason talking on. What is a month or 2 months or how
yeah,
long?
that's what I was going to ask. How long was it?
Then after that, then he pitched the 5 grand.
Got you. It makes sense.
after
Okay.
after Mason got the results, it made sense to like pitch like the higher price thing.
The pitch. So someone's question was like, "How long was the trial?" The trial, the length of the trial necessarily didn't matter. It was when did they actually get the result. So, for example, if in 3 days I spent, $60, $80, because typically the trial didn't last longer than 2 weeks, by the way. But ultimately, what I was trying to do is reduce and make sure that the cycle is shorter. Okay. The reason I wanted to do that was because I could run more trials at a time in less time. So therefore, I could do it a lot quicker.
And
Okay.
again,
But ultimately, it's like once they got a sale, instantly, I didn't give a fuck about the rest of the trial.
it's
I
a
was
lot
like,
like
yo, I've proved myself to you. Are you ready to do business? That's it. Like there
remember
was no, like I was never good at sales. It was just like, yo, you gave me 500, you have 3 grand. The next logical thing to do is give me five. Now I'll tell you everything I just did for you.
How are
It's
you
just,
identifying that they're getting the sale?
I would either be on the sales calls or I would make them record them. Because if they
Mm,
didn't, then I wouldn't allow them to do the trial.
mm.
guys, the first again, you have to figure out what worked for you. So for Mason, his niche, it's usually about $150 to acquire a customer. So he has 250 to spend to play with. Now, the leads are different cost depending on the market. And then two, it depends on how good those people are working the leads. So some people suck balls, so you can't control that variable. But he knew I have got about 250. And then the other thing to explain to you is again, you want to keep it as short as possible because that's when people are hot. You extend it over a month or two, people get cold or whatever, the intention is not high, they're not. And the other thing I'll tell you guys is again, think about what Mason's doing, think about what I'm doing with you guys the first 30 days. Everybody's experience in here, top knot, blah, 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 within the first, it's the same shit. Is you have to identify like if you're going to do anything like Mason, anything like me, where you're planning on making your money around day 30 or day 15 or day 7, those first 7 days or 15 days, whatever the fuck it is, has to be compelling to want people to buy. Right. And that's why I do certain things with you guys within the first 30 days. Same thing. So I think
So
I'll
how question? Sorry, I'm asking a lot of questions.
You're good.
How was you able to, well, never mind, because you said you was doing gyms. I was thinking about it as far as like with us, Coach Sheet, with the 6 weeks. But we have different niches, so it's kind of like it's different. With gyms, you're able to move faster because you know what ad you're gonna run, you know what, so you can get results quicker. Do it that way. That's what I'm guessing.
yeah, he had like you said, he had an ad that he would run for all the personal trainers that would just
Yeah.
look. Yeah.
Kind of, yeah. When you niche down, how you tell, hey, these right here works for dentists, these right here works for. Okay, it makes sense. Okay, I got it.
Yeah,
Just
essentially it's like think about the like on the actual thinking back to it on the sales call, I actually showed them the ad. I showed them how simple it was, asked them if they could do that. They told me yes, and I said, "Great. Well, that's what every single client is using, and this is the results that it's been yielding." Making it seem super simple to actually do it. So if you think about Alex Hormozi's value equation, it's like time, effort, sacrifice is low because they're actually seeing upfront what they need to do. Plus, I'm literally doing everything else for them, making it stupid simple. And then when I'm just charging them $500, out of all of the trials and people that have gotten the sales call, my success rate was 100%. And the reason that was is not because like I'm fucking attractive. I promise you that. It's the fact that the offer was so damn good.
I had a quick question. Since you were pocketing the 500 and spending half of that,
Mhm.
would you get on their ads manager and just run your own credit card on their account, or is everything going through your ads manager?
Mhm. So it kind of depended. I had like a little onboarding thing that I would have them do, but overall, I could just run the ads out of my account and then just give them the leads. As long as I had access to their Instagram page, which is like a very easy process, that's all I needed. So after I collected the 500, I collected all of it up front. And then I just took the money, used it on my credit card, then paid the 250 because I had access to all of the money.
Gotcha. Okay,
Because
that makes sense.
there was times, for example, when I collected the 500 and I got someone results within $100. Therefore, I just pocketed 400.
Hmm.
But then also there's been times where like, oh shoot, I'm not getting this person results or getting a book call, therefore I need to spend 350 as opposed to 250. But I kind of had that safety net. Like I
Hmm.
never went in the red doing it. Like I always made profit. I used to make money from doing the trials actually. Like I know I was saying I was breaking even earlier, but that's just like to play it safe. Like I was actually making money, spending money to acquire customers, which was actually really cool thinking about it.
Yeah, it's definitely a neat concept for sure. I'm glad you shared that.
Hmm. But that's what worked for me. But good to get on back on track in
Yep.
terms of like what happens next, because this is like the shit I'm excited about.
Yep.
Because now you guys are gonna see like in terms of how deep I've dug, if that makes sense. Any questions before I move on to that and kind of transition the conversation to there?
Let's do it.
Okay. So instead of doing the trial, okay, I wanted to be in the complete weeds on how everything is done in the marketing and sales realm. Because if I learned how to do that, I can help my clients more when I get back into PTs. Therefore, history yet again repeats itself. So, my competitors that were out there in the space, once being online personal trainers, having the ins and outs, were better than me because they knew that. So, logically, the next thing for me to do is to learn every single concept inside so that I could be the best. So that's when I went 50-50 with a partner and I just decided, hey, I'm getting you great results. Instead of paying me continuously 5K every 3 months, why don't we just go 50-50? Which she said yes. But overall, I've been working with her for so long, like that one client, just in general, probably would have ended up paying me like 50K at least. Like just one PT. Okay.
Hopefully you understood what he said. He went from doing the trials and having a bunch of people to just saying one of them, hey, I want to partner with you. This should sound eerily familiar. This is what I do with you guys. I look for my Michael Jordan. I look for my Kobe Bryant. I say, okay, I'm fucking with you. We're going to work on a profit share deal. Same thing. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So with Lauren, she didn't necessarily have like a niche, right? It was just kind of like, oh, we're going to help women over 30, which seems like a niche in itself, but overall, you have to realize how many different people are out there that are women helping women. Like we weren't necessarily unique. Okay. With that being said, with ads comes ad fatigue. I don't know if you guys experienced those yet, but overall, you have to consistently update those, hit different angles, etc. And because we didn't have a niche inside our online personal trainer business, we were targeting everyone essentially. Okay. Something that was actually a huge misinterpretation for me was niching is like a person with X job, fighters, nurses, teachers, like all these different things. But I also wasn't understanding something called psychographics. Do you guys know what that is by any chance?
Breaking that down, bro.
Hmm. Essentially, what that is what the people eat, talk, how they react to things, what do they enjoy, what are their hobbies, etc. those little minute concepts is something that I studied for a while, and that can also be a niche. It could be a specific solution to a problem. Like that in itself is a niche. Okay. But anyways, regardless, because that doesn't matter too much, I just wanted to share that because it's not just like a person or an age, it's a lot of different things. For example, YouTube is its own niche. Learning how to run ads on YouTube, Google, like Facebook, Instagram. And to the level in which you need to learn these skills is the why I'm telling you over and over and over again, it's digging that 1 foot, one hole 15 feet deep. So in order to get my client and I, because we're partners now, consistent results, we kind of went down the rabbit hole and went through all of the different ways in which we could get clients. Okay. So I joined a program from Brandon Forbes. He taught me something called follower ads. I'm not sure if you guys have ever heard of anything along the lines of that, but I was in the game early with follower ads and they crushed. I say early in the game, but realistically, I was like 2 years late, but they work really well and they still work today. So we had follower ads. 1 month it would be great. The next month it would kind of die off. And it was just kind of like this hamster wheel of like great revenue, bad revenue, great revenue, bad revenue, like over and over and over again. There was no predictability with it. Then we went back to DM ads, which were the ads that I was running for the trials. Same thing happened. Okay. Great months, bad months, great months, bad months, launching new ads. We couldn't necessarily get a control and differentiating ourselves on the market. And like quite honestly, like that was stressful as fuck. And the reason that was stressful is because we tried so many different things. It didn't have anything necessarily stick concrete. 1 month we'd make 20K. Next month we'd make five. Like that dip in revenue is not fun. As videographers, I would imagine you guys know that as well. Because there's some months where you're like, oh yeah, I got 3 weddings back to back, and then all of a sudden you don't even get a shot at the pizza parlor. Right? So we wanted predictability. But
So
overall, go ahead.
go ahead, go ahead. After you're done, I want to summarize kind of the key things I want them to take away from this. But if you have some more, bro.
Yeah. I mean, there was just one thing I want to say that really held me back wasn't necessarily the fact that it was like up and down, up and down, up and down. Because I did this, and I remember being with Lauren when I actually did do this because we ended up joining another program to help us out with the marketing and sales so I could figure out more stuff from someone that was more successful than me. And they didn't teach me this necessarily, but something that I had to realize myself, and I remember being there with Lauren understanding it, is we literally went down month through month and we were like, okay, what's the ROAS of January? What's the ROAS of February? And we just went through each and every single month. And the ROAS was like, I don't know, I think like a 5.5, if I remember correctly. It was between like 5 and 5.5. And the reason I want to tell you guys this is because one of the mistakes that I've made early on and knowing that now is the fact that we didn't spend more. And the reason we didn't spend more is because of fear. Okay. But if you look historically, having the ROAS be 5x, essentially I'm letting my emotions control and dictate my behavior, which was limiting my business's growth. If you put $1 into the vending machine, you get five. How many times would you continuously do so? I would imagine as many times as humanly possible. But I was scared that 1 month when we hit 20K and then the next month we hit 5K, that all of a sudden I would spend 10K and I wouldn't make 20. But realistically, like you have to be detached from the numbers. And it's scary because I remember the first time I was running ads inside the cinema marketing cheat code, doing the 6 figures and 6 week sales funnels, spending $20 a day and shitting myself. Like, oh my God, $600 a month. Not knowing it would work. But like when you do have predictability, like put your foot on the fucking gas. Like actually. Like it might seem scary, but like if you spend $100 and you make 1,000, like continuously do so. Don't think, oh, I'm going to spend 500 more and I'm not going to close a deal and I'm going to lose my 10x ROAS. But what I'll tell you and what I've learned, because I'm doing it now, is the more money you spend, the ROAS is going to go down regardless. That's just the way the game works. But also, you spend more and you make more. Spend 1 million to make 2 million. Congratulations, you made $1 million. You spent $1,000 to make $10,000. Wow, that's a 10x, and I made 9 grand. See the difference?
So there's two different concepts Mason's throwing your way. The first concept is the one I want you guys to focus on for now. What he's saying right now in terms of spend more money is true, but it makes so like here's the first thing that he's trying to get across to you guys is like look at what it says up there. It says Rand DMS to help women lose 30 pounds, right? So what
Nope.
niche is there a niche? Is that like a nurse? Is that a doctor? Is that no, it's just like, yo, you want to lose 30 pounds? Right? So that's like the first quote unquote mistake, or it's not a mistake, it's just a failing forward lesson. It's just he didn't quite know. So it's just like, yo, I'm gonna help everybody and their mama wants to lose 30 pounds in this country, right? So he's doing that, and then he's starts off so step one, pick that as your niche. Step two, okay, run follower ads. Does it work? Yes, but it looks like this. So it's like, okay, shit's broken. Okay, let me pivot over to DM ads. So he thinks that the solution is going from follower. So phase one, phase two, phase three. Phase three is let me try DM ads. Does it work? Oh, it works. Okay, fuck, that was the solution. But then, boom. So again, his revenue looks like this. So it's like, okay, so you phase one, pick the niche. Phase two, deep follower ads, not quite working. DM ads, okay, that's not working either. So something is fucking broken. So that's kind of what we're trying to get across to you guys. Hopefully that's making sense. It's not that the follower ads were broken. It's not that the DM ads were broken. There was something that was fundamentally broken, which is this line right here. 30 pounds weight loss. That was fundamentally broken. He realized that later on. Now, yeah, spend more money to make more money. Yeah, that's a thing. But he had to kind of pivot and really figure out like what the ultimate problem was, or else you're basically giving birth to a cancer, right? He had a cancer, right? This right here was a cancer. And if he had spent more money, yeah, he would make more money, but like you're kind of also birthing a cancer versus he got rid of the cancer in the next phase. And he'll kind of get into that, like how he quote unquote fixed it. So hopefully that's the kind of the takeaway we want you to understand is sometimes that's the small fucking unlock, guys. It's
It's
this.
it's the little minute details, and that actually leads me to my next point, which is I'm fishing the same pond as 600 boats. We didn't have a strong message. Hundreds of other trainers offered the same damn thing. Are you someone in the US that wants to lose weight? We have an obesity problem. It's everybody. Every personal trainer is saying that. The only difference between Lauren and I, than all the businesses out there, is the fact that we just look different. In terms of our content, we said different things. Okay? Like when everyone fishes in the same pond, there's only so many fish to go around. There's nothing differentiating us. And if I related it back to when I started to do the marketing for PTs, I was the only one on the market doing a trial offer. That's why it was super easy for me. No one else was doing it the way that I was doing it. I was doing things differently. My theory was, okay, I'm going to spend more money to acquire a customer than anyone else so that I can make more money on the back end. So, for example, if it costed me $500 to get a customer that was worth $1,000 to me, I'm profiting 500, but I'm going to try everything in my power to make sure that they sign up with me afterward so I can get another 500 bucks. Therefore, I'm outspending the person next to me. Whoever can spend the most money on ads will generate the most revenue. That's what I thought. That's what I thought to do. That was my solution. Big fucking mistake. Because there's so much more people out there that have the same niche that I do that are able to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars.
So hopefully that's making sense. Remember, pick the niche. Follower ads don't work. DM ads don't work. Okay, cool. I'm just going to spend more money. So instead of spending 500 to charge somebody 1,000, I'm going to spend 900 and make sure that they spend 2,000 with me. That's the psychology. That's what he's getting at. That's the next pivot. That's the next evolvement in his psychology of what he wants to do. Make sense so far, guys? Yeah? Okay. And what he's saying is that was not the right move, and he'll kind of continue.
Mm-mm. So this was the mistake that I made. So I invested in a mentor who essentially told me that the biggest issue was that people didn't trust me. Therefore, we need to go in and create more organic content. That's how we would increase the LTV and get the cost per acquisition down because people liked us. Okay. That cost me 10K in 6 months. One of the biggest mistakes overall in my career because I already had something that was working and I was acquiring customers that way, but there was just something missing. And it wasn't the fact that we weren't liked because the people that were signing up with us did like us. But you have to remember everyone's fishing in that same pot spot. So who has the best bait? Maybe it wasn't even about having the best bait to acquire the same fish, but a different bait that would get a different type of fish. That was the difference. Because ultimately, from starting point, like our entire business ran on paid ads. The whole thing. Paid ads are scalable, and I thought that we needed to be liked. But in reality, like this is a huge takeaway. If you truly understand this, and I tried to like give a funny example for this, but in reality, it's like what you need to do is sell hot dogs on the busiest street when everyone is hungry and there's nowhere else to get food. Like that is the unlock. It doesn't matter how good your food is, people are gonna fucking buy it. You're the only one. You get great results, aka feeding the hunger, and it's busy here. Where are all the fish at? So I was extremely frustrated, and I want this to be also a point. Um, each and every single one of you guys in here should be like networking together and figuring shit out together. Because I would not be where I am today without the people that I have met throughout my journey that are quite literally trying to do the same thing as me, or people that are doing something different, but ultimately the concept is the same. So I have a shitload of friends that are PTs that run their own PT business. We bounce ideas off each other all of the time. There's a guy out there, his name's Nate. This guy changed my business forever. And it was literally just like a sentence worth of advice. Okay? This was the advice. Who do you like working with? And I remember asking myself this, and I didn't know the fucking answer. And the reason I did not know this answer is because I did everything except fulfill the client. I did everything. I did the sales, I did the marketing, I did the DM conversation, I trained the setters, I did everything. And he goes, "Well, who do you like to work with?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't know, whoever's got a fucking credit card." You know? So I didn't know the answer to that question. And I'm glad that he followed up with this question, which is who is getting the best results inside of your program? And I thought, well, I don't know. Let me go ask my partner because she was doing all of the coaching. So what we did is we had a meeting. We pulled up the spreadsheet because we tracked the data in terms of the client's name, what state that they were from, because we had a whole onboarding thing, like you guys do, with like respectively your niches or whatever. And we looked at the client results. And it wasn't just the results that we got, it was thoroughly the people that Lauren enjoyed working with. And the pattern we found was teacher, principal, school admin, kindergartner teacher, like all of these types of different things within that niche. And at that moment in time, everything clicked for me. I was like, this is going to solve all of our issues. This one thing right here that I did not have my hands on because I was not doing the actual coaching. Not saying that I wish I went back in time and did the coaching, but overall, having this data is super important because kind of how like we were talking about the studs and the duds, etc. Although it's
Yep.
not about getting these clients the best results and who do we like working with, it's having that pattern recognition and seeing what we're doing and why we're relating to teachers is working well. Even though we weren't teachers, we're not a teacher.
So until you guys have gotten the 30 plus clients, guys, you're not going to pick up on a fucking pattern like this. That's why the number is the number. That's why you guys got to put in hella reps. A lot of people, I'm looking at your Shira, I'm looking at some of you guys are like, oh, what do I do? It's like, no, you're going to figure it out as time progresses. A lot of things become clear as you just do the damn thing. I will tell you guys, just like Mason is sharing this with you, I know my sweet spot is people that are doing 3 to 7,000 per month. That's my sweet spot. Anything less than that, the knowledge information goes over the head. Anything above $7,000, usually they're making enough money, they're doing enough things in their life where then when I say, yo, I want you to do this hard thing, they don't do the damn hard thing. Because why would they? They already got the money coming. It's like, oh, it's not worth it. I'm gonna keep making my 8 grand.
Mhm.
So again, there's
Yep.
pattern recognition. Same thing that Mason's going over here. You got to go again. The only way Mason got here is by selling a shit ton of people and then going through the data and kind of figure out what are my best clients. Hormozy talks about this all the time. Who paid me the most amount of money? You got to sell a shit ton of people, and then this will become more clear as time progresses. Okay. This is again, this is why we talk about 1, 2, 3, 4 years. It takes time to get the damn data. You got to close them, you got to work with them. Every single person I work with, just like Cody, I sit down, I write, I really try to think about, okay, what made them successful, all their attributes, the psychographics, how much money, like all this stuff. And then guess what? That helps you with your marketing because now I can run an ad and say, hey, if you're currently doing 3 to 7,000, you try this. Now I'm relaying the exact motherfucker that I know is going to be the best person for my program. Right. So that's
Yeah.
kind of what he's getting at in his own way here.
Well, that's exactly what I did after this. Because once we actually came up and saw this realization and we were like, hey, you know what we should do? Let's just niche down to teachers and school admins. In like current day, we're even niche down even more because there's specific qualifications that we have for those people, even for us to consider working with them. So it's not even just like, oh, we'll work with any teacher and school admin. It's like you have to be a teacher and school admin and XYZ. Okay.
So you guys picking up very general follower ads, DM ads, look through the data, teachers, and then now he's going even deeper. I'm going to let him talk, but hopefully you guys are kind of seeing this is why, again, it takes a, I'll kind of leave it here, but again, it's going to be multiple pivots, guys. It is normal to take multiple pivots until you figure this shit out. It's normal. Expect it.
So first thing, literally the first thing I did is I interviewed every single person that was a client or a past client of ours that was a teacher or school admin. And the reason I did that is because I wanted to learn more about them. What were they struggling with? What was their pain points? What were their goals? What did they struggle with? I didn't want to guess. I didn't want to guess anymore. It's like I want to know exactly what made this person join my program, what issues that they were having, what their goals were, etc. This is all I did. Like I even still have the actual interviews. After that, I analyzed all the data. I rewrote the ads. I scripted a brand new VSL. It's a video sales letter. Essentially, it's like an 8-minute video that I have them watch before the sales call. Okay. Um, Rebranded, changed their Instagram bio, all those types of different things. Okay. And like how Kashik was saying earlier in terms of skills being stackable, that's essentially everything that I did. The follower ads, the DM ads, etc. Once I made those slight tweaks, like I was not doing anything wrong with these ads. It was just simply who I was marketing to. Once I changed those three things, like everything changed overnight. We spent 2.2K on ads. We made $56,000 our first month niche down. Like that's a crazy ROAS. But everything to that point, we've changed everything. So the way that we go about setting in the DMs is different. We know what's required because we knew how to get people on calls before, but we know how to make it better because we're specifically talking to teachers and school admins. Same thing with the sales process. We already know their pain points. We already know exactly what they're going to say and how to reframe their comments, concerns. The only question that I genuinely ever get on my sales calls is like trying to figure out the logistics of how can I make it work for them. To which then I went to the next level, getting access to accepting as a business HSA and FSA funds so that they could join the program, leveraging tax-free dollars for them to join and making it more affordable. Because when you think of teachers, I don't think anyone really thinks in the back of their mind, like, oh, that's a millionaire. That's someone that has a shitload of money, right? And it's something that when you niche down, it's something that you could quite literally have the trigger go off in your head, which is, oh, like they don't have a lot of money. I'm going to write them off. But for me, I'm like, can I get that person funding? Can I make this very cheap for someone to join? Can I use someone else's dollars to get them to join? PD grants, personal development. I don't know if you guys know what that is. But essentially, I went down the rabbit hole of figuring everything out in terms of the lives of school people, admins, teachers, the conversations that they have, what they do when they wake up, etc. And that's what changed my business. Like that level of detail into going in and knowing not just their occupation, but the things that they literally think. Any questions, comments, concerns about that?
I had a question, and you might get into this, but were you helping with like enrollment? Like, how are you helping teachers and school admins?
Like, what do you mean by
So,
enrollment?
like, is this kind of to get more students to the school for the teachers to teach, or like, are you coach? I don't know. Like, what's the offer?
Mhm.
Essentially, that's what I'm not understanding.
Gotcha. So it's online fitness coaching for teachers and school admins.
Okay, that's
So you
what.
know how it was like women 30 plus.
Yeah, yeah.
Now it's teachers and school admins.
Okay, got it.
So
That's
instead of
that's what changed.
so
Okay.
instead of, for example, instead of saying, hey, if you're somebody that's trying to make more money as a videographer, it's, hey, are you a videographer that's currently doing 3 to 7 thousand per month and you hired three other coaches before and you spent this amount? If so, boom. Because now I know based off of my research of the 100 plus people I work with, these are the people that have the most success. These are people that make me the most amount of money. So I am going to redo my marketing to go after that specific person. That's what Mason did. So instead of people that are just 30 plus old, so basically imagine this is 30 plus. What he did is he found there's this pocket that are the most profitable for us. Let's go there. So that's what he did. So he's still helping women lose money, but these people are admins and whatever. And the other thing, so hopefully that makes sense, Jane. Hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, I thought this was a totally different niche. That's
No,
what
no, no.
threw me. That's what I
No.
didn't understand.
So,
So I
so
wanted to ask.
hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. So now if we revisit the journey, 30 plus, lose weight, follower ads, DM ads, niche down, okay, skyrocket growth. That was the unlock. And then on top of that, this is why going super in depth, because now look at the kinds of, and so once he's done that, remember there's marketing and sales. So he's redoing his entire marketing. He's redoing his ad. He's redoing his VSL. He's redoing the conversation.
DM setting, the sales
Every single,
script,
the sales process, everything's
everything.
completely different. And think about again, now what does this unlock as well? This unlocks, okay, admin and teachers, okay, there's different ways to get them funded. There's different tools that we have at our arsenal. It changes the business completely overnight, just a small little shift, guys. So that's the secret sauce, guys. Like all the stuff down here, I learned DM sending, HSA loans, FSA funds, so they can join tax free. Like, oh my God, holy shit! Can you if you don't niche down, how could you ever learn something like that, right? If you don't go super niche, so that's the secret sauce, guys.
Mhm. Yeah. So I mean, this is current day. I actually looked up the numbers this morning, but I've spent $2,400 on ads. I got about a 6x return on ad spend currently, and I've already contracted 27K this month. We're shooting toward 100K a month for the rest of the year, and then we'll have a real shot at making 600 to $750,000 this year. Um, Constantly reinvesting in myself. I had to hire a sales rep. Okay. I'm interviewing assistant coaches right now. But more importantly, from niching down in, I believe it was like March, end of February, I spent all of that time refining the message, refining the post, refining the Instagram, refining all these types of different things, looking for the HSA, all that type of different stuff. I'm at a point now where I'm done with all of that. I know that my marketing is on point. I know that everything is on point. Simply now, the last thing that I have to solve is sales. And honestly, that's already figured out. But now I'm at the point where it's like, how can I squeeze the lemon the most? And the last skill that I've been needing to work on for the longest time is what? Sales. So now all I'm doing on the day-to-day basis is nothing except waking up and studying sales. And because these conversations are now predictable and I already know what they're going to say, and sales is like chess, you need to stay one step ahead. My close rate has been over 35% for the past 5, 6 months, which is great because for the entire year, well, since February, to be fair, it costs me less than $100 to book a sales call. And the show rate, in which I actually just fixed basically, because that's something I've been working on for months now, used to be at 50%, which is kind of industry standard when it comes to ads. Um, but now it's like, because I'm only working on the sales component, it's at like 75, 80%. So I'm spending less than 100, I'm spending about $150 essentially, good number's sake, in order to acquire or in order to get a sales call. And if I close one out of three of them, my cost per acquisition is $400. So I'm spending $400 to basically make $3,000 to $4,000. And that's not even with back end. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. And that's why I'm aggressively spending more money, because that's a mistake that I made before. Any questions on that? What questions do you guys have for me?
Are you guys currently doing DM ads, follower ads?
Yeah,
What's
that's what I was gonna ask. Well, like what system are you using? Are you still doing that? Are you still doing the free trial where you get them in and then you sell them on that, or like you know?
he's not doing
So,
the
so
free
for
trial?
the free trial, that was just to acquire personal trainers.
Okay, so you're not doing any of that with the teachers as far as that, and then the high ticket later on, no low ticket, high ticket thing.
Correct. I'm
Okay,
only
cool.
focusing on high ticket currently.
Got you. Okay.
Okay.
Why don't you break down what your funnel currently looks like? That might answer Cheryl's question. So basically the free trial is what he used to get some personal trainers, but in terms of so remember, so phase one, he used that trial to get some personal trainers. Phase two, he decided to work specifically with Lauren. Phase three,
Mm-hmm.
he's doing follower ads with Lauren to help them get customers. Phase four, he's doing DM ads with Lauren to get them customers. Now he's niched down and into teachers and whatever admins. And so in terms of like what he's doing with Lauren, he's breaking that down right now.
Okay, cool beans.
I know it's a
Yeah.
bit much. There's multiple it's kind of like, I talk about Super Saiyan and Pikachu and stuff, but there's like evolvement, there's constant evolvements to get to the level that he's gotten. He constantly refined things.
So since you talk, I'm laughing because you say Pikachu, and I was also thinking about it because when you said it. So you know how you will understand what I'm talking about. So you remember when we played Pokemon, right?
Yes,
And
sir.
they only gave you three, right? They gave you like three, maybe four. You know, then when Pikachu version came out, you can only have them, but they gave you three. So you only get Squirtle, Charmander, or you know what I'm saying? You get to choose what you want. So I'm looking at that like if I come in there with that same process of a niche, I mean, I understand there's a whole process of getting there. I do, trust me, I do, I get it. But it's just like just picking one and just be like, yo, okay, I'm going with Charmander. I'm just gonna go with that because, and then you had to just play with Charmander because that's all you picked it in the beginning. So he became your best jump off of default because you just kind of just like, you know what, I'm not gonna be so broad then, and I'm just gonna pick one, lock in on that one, learn all the research about, you know, what a cavity put to, I'm just saying, teeth whitening, what does it do to your teeth? Does it make it sensitive? Learning a whole bunch of like, do you need to get veneers or do you use porcelain or do you use, I'm a bit, I understand a little bit about it, but you know what I mean? Do I look into also doing braces or doing Invisalign? There's a pros and cons to that. So it's just like if you already have an understanding of that. And then you also mentioned about uh, the physical training. I know I'll probably be like a good candidate for that because I played football for like since I was 9. And then I know exercises. I done a little bit of training with some small soccer coaches or whatever the case might be. Then do I pick that niche? Like that's the reason why I was kind of asking that question in the beginning when it came to like, okay, what if I do want to just niche down and just go home in into understanding that one particular.
What do you like out?
And I'm just like, I'm gonna pick this one and I'm just go with it. It already has pros and cons, so I'm gonna just eat the bullet on that. So I really don't care. I like this topic. I want to get on that. So
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like the best way I kind of explain is like where you guys are at right now is we're just collecting all the different Pokemon. So you're collecting Pikachu and Charmander and this and that. And what's going to happen is to get to where Mason's going, it's you pick Charmander, and then your job is just to slowly evolve him and then get to Charizard and then have the strongest damn Charizard possible. All right, that's the game. But Mason, you are sharing your funnel. I think if the guys see the funnel, that might be like really valuable for them to understand, oh, how's he getting so many customers for their personal trainer business?
Yep. So essentially, I'm doing the same thing that I used to be doing. It's actually not one or the other, it's both. So I'm running DM ads and I'm also running follower ads.
Okay.
Just to make that clear. Um, do you want me to like show the ads or like how in depth do you really want me to go?
Go as in depth as you want to go. Because I think I can tell based off of the guys' questions, bro, that because we're throwing a lot at them, some people are a little bit confused. I think visually seeing it would be beneficial.
Okay.
Only as far as you want to go without, I know you only have so much time, so whatever you feel comfortable going through.
Um, I can show, I don't, there's a lot of fish. Just don't go for teachers.
Don't go for teachers, guys. You heard him. Mason's gonna come.
Go for teachers. Got you. No, I'm just playing.
So like what I'll tell you is, okay, I mean, no, I'm not even gonna go into that, but it's like knowing what I know now and the types of different ads that I've ran before and knowing the knowledge that I have, like there's a lot of different niches that you can choose from. And I don't have my Zoom pulled up, so I don't know who was asking earlier in terms of like, do I go for this person? Do I go for this person, etc.
Oh, that was me. That was lifestyle.
Your niche can just be like a location as well. So it could be like Dallas moms. That's a niche. It's like, what personal trainer do you know that only works with Dallas moms? Like nobody. Like there's personal trainers that help moms, but is there personal trainers that helps moms in the Dallas area? Like that right there can already put you to 10K per month. Same thing if we just like go back and say screw the personal training thing. Like let's say you're doing the videographer like marketing route. It's like home service based businesses in X local area can kind of be its own niche. But be careful because you don't want to be the person that's like the marketer of the area that does chiropractors, dentists, like all those types of different things. Does that make sense what I'm saying? I hope so, because I wasn't looking to see if anyone nodded their head. You guys could have all gave me the middle finger and I wouldn't have even realized it.
We're good. We're picking up what you're throwing down.
Sick. All right. Maybe let's just go to this month. Actually, it really doesn't matter.
So I would be curious why doing both as opposed to like doing a specific just DMs or just followers.
hmm Um,
But go through everything first and then we can revisit.
yeah. So, I mean, I'm not going to go into like the ad settings. I don't necessarily think that matters. Um, but I will show you kind of the difference between the ads and the CTAs. Okay. Super simple. Like one is just, hey, the call to action is follow me, follow my page. Like that's it. There's no like hard sell DMEX word. This ad, okay, it's specifically because you can book calls directly from a follower ad like this, but overall, it's a place of nurturing people. Therefore, I'm getting a shitload of people to come to our page and I'm being like, whoa. This is the only company in the United States that works with teachers and school admins with their health and fitness. That's extremely unique. I'm going to follow their page and see what kind of content they have. You go to our page right now, it's just full of fucking testimonials. Like that's all it is. Um, but this ad, can I? Oh, sick. This is our ad. Okay, something I want to point out to you guys is looking like your ideal avatar is extremely beneficial. Okay. So for example, if you work with construction workers, wear construction worker shit. If you work with a dentist, be in a clinic when you film your ad. If you're working with teachers, you best believe that you need to be in a classroom. Things along the lines of this nature, Andromeda will pick up and it will use it to your advantage. So just a little tip when it comes to running ads. Okay. Because we've ran ads that I've tried to split test, being in a classroom, not being in a classroom, different scripts. I've not been able to beat this ad in fucking years. Like genuinely, like I can't beat it. Like I've got to a point where I just like have thrown on the towel. Like I can't beat it. Okay.
Mm.
So there's that ad. And there's about a reason it won't show this one. Oh, here we go. Teachers most weight losses work because the device wasn't built for you in the first place. You struggle, yet you've never been able to prior. Oh man, come on. You struggle because you never feel like you're allowed to prioritize yourself. You care of everyone else all day long. So you're putting yourself first feels wrong even when you're exhausted. Weight loss for teachers isn't about trying harder. It's about finding a system that works for you. 365 days a year throughout the school season and summer break. One that allows you to feel like yourself again, have work-life balance, and have more energy so that you don't actually have to run to the couch when you get home. Follow our page. A lot of the things that I learned to script this ad was from the interviews that I made. AKA running and going to the couch and being exhausted is something I never thought I'd put in an ad for weight loss. But for some odd reason, a lot of people within that niche relate to what she's saying, and that's why we get a good follower rate. Okay. Super simple. Visit Instagram profile and the text is just follow our page. That's it. It's nothing crazy. We're not even targeting anything. Okay. So the follow rat essentially is to get as many people on the top of the funnel as possible. Okay. And the DM ads are essentially for people that are already aware of their problem and are ready for an offer. So we have both things going on.
Mm.
Sometimes follower ads are better, sometimes DM ads are better. It's the same way that it was before. They both work. Because they have worked, I haven't turned them off. Like if it works, don't try to fucking fix it. Like just
It
leave it as is.
looks like you're spending more money on the follower ads. So it's like you're trying to fill up top of funnel a little bit more with follower versus DM
Mhm.
ads. That sound about right?
Not entirely because I'm spending about 150 in the direct ads currently and 175 on follower. So it's relatively pretty even.
Mm.
Um, but what I will say is follower ads are a bit they're both predictable in their own way. It's kind of weird because like I've taken a look at the cost per acquisition for each and they're relatively around the same, except like 1 month DM ads will crush and then like follower ads won't do well. And then it kind of like does this. That's why I've never turned them off. And that has like been through the past like year or so. There's never like a clear winner that just wins. That's why I've always kept both on because my conclusion is they just work well together. Because people
Yeah.
that follow my page go and they actually see the DM ad.
Yeah. So Jalen, remember at the very beginning when you may remember I sent you a Loom video, and in that video I was like, your stuff is just way too broad. So it's like it's not that follower DM funnels don't work. It's just look at the level of research he did. Look at the level of depth he went into to make it work. So when you were just given like, oh, just run follower DM, pick a niche, it's the information that you were given, you how could you win on that? There's the missing component of like you got to really figure out what these people want, what to speak, what to say to get them there. And you got to be a lot more laser targeted with your messaging. That's a big part of what it was, you know.
Yeah, figured that out later. Thousands of dollars
Yeah.
wasted.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
My battery's doing. All right, I got 15%. Just trying to plug that in. I don't know why it's
So
not letting
you
me
do
out.
this, and then it's a conversation side of the DM. So after the DMs, you push it to a sales
Yep.
call.
So I run these two types of different ads. Then that conversation just goes to the Instagram DMs where I have setters, just appointment setters. Okay. Super big thing to understand as well, and I made this mistake, is don't delegate until you know exactly what you're doing. Best example I can give you is imagine a business that hires a copywriter to write their television commercials. Not having any experience or understanding copywriting is an issue because how do we know that we're going to fund this thing that we don't even know is going to work and blast it out to hundreds and thousands of people without knowing that it will work? That way I can say, here are the predictable results that I'm getting. My clients on average, it's just like a KPI thing. If I have a sales rep that's on my offer that can't close within a $500 of cost per acquisition, there's a sales issue because I've been closing consistently at $400 for the past 6 months.
Can you run through just really quick? And I think this will be good for Shirel. Because Shirel, we're
Mhm.
talking about PM ads, and follower ads. This is literally what he's doing. It's just like a quick rundown of like a conversation. I think would be beneficial. And like I think the reason I wanted to show Shirel is like it's not random. There's like you know exactly what the hell you're saying and why you're saying it inside the DMs and the training that you've given those guys.
I think he sent it to. Did you send it to me, Mason? I think you did too as well.
I may have. Did I send you this?
Does it have like the
I think I did.
I think you did. I think you did, if I'm not mistaken. But you can still go through it though. But I think you sent it to me as well.
I think I did as well. But basically, it's like I've written down every fucking detail of what they could potentially say, and my setters know what to say.
And so this is kind of what I meant, Shira, when I'm like talking about the follower. It's like, you know, you're kind of, it depends on how good she is, because unless you've done it, like how can you really train her? So we have to, that's one of the problems with the follower, the DM out is like, I don't know, we have to kind of,
So is there like something that I can do research wise or whatever to figure this out, or is it just like trial and error, like
it's trial
just
and error.
talking to a bunch of people and just knowing like what kind of objections you'll get and you know.
There's,
What's the scenario? Like, are you DM
So
setting for somebody or?
yeah, so it's a loctician. She does dreadlocks,
Okay.
and we did some funnel hacking and stuff. And most of the stuff was direct message, send message, or it did a follower where they went to the Instagram and then clicked the link to book. Um, is what we seen. Am I right, Coach? You just want to make sure that I'm not saying anything wrong.
yeah. So Mason, basically when we went to Funnel Hack, it was really weird. It's like follower ads because it says visit Instagram, but then the follower count is not huge. And then the way they make it looks like unless they're like setting those people, there's a link in the bio, and then usually you can book, but then you have to pay. So it's like that doesn't even make any sense because that's a follower ad versus to get somebody to pay, you have to do a sales ad. So I was a little bit confused.
Essentially what they're trying to do is they're trying to run like an engagement ad, but having you pay for it. But also what you have to realize is like depending on the conversion event that you choose on Facebook, that's the likelihood of the person that you'll get. So therefore, it's really hard to get someone to buy something with an engagement or a visit Instagram profile. That's why I know for every 100 followers that I get, I book a call. But it takes me 100 followers to at least have one good conversation to get someone to book a call.
Yeah. So and
So
then
it's
the other
simply at that point a numbers game, but ultimately they're optimizing for the wrong thing.
Yeah, I think the when we funnel hacked, I think things were set up the wrong. Like whoever's running it is not doing it right because they only have like 1,000 followers and they're running ads for how. So I'm guessing they're spending like $1 or $2 a day, and they don't even know if the sales are coming from the ads or not. And so the other thing that we saw were DM ads. I'm like, okay, you should maybe try the DM ads. And so he's like doesn't know what the conversation looked like. I'm trying to get across to share like you're not gonna know. There's like best practices, which is what you've shared here, but you kind of have to just trial by fire and figure it out. Um, you know.
I honestly believe if you launch a follower ad and just get them to follow the page and then you reach out first is the quickest way that you will learn.
Yeah, yeah,
That
You
is
should
how you
talk to
will.
locticians, bro. I talked to my loctician, and she tells me what the client be asking and what they looking for, and she's really good. So I'm just thinking like you should talk to locticians, like look on locticians and just talk to them and call them like, hey, what do your clients be asking for if they need locks or da da da? And I guarantee they'll give you some information that can help you get you in the right direction. Because I have locks, so I'm telling you from experience. I ain't telling you just because I don't know. I had questions on how to grow my locks. I can show you pictures from when I started my locks on my phone, uh, 4 years ago, and this is 4 years of growth, and my hair is like right here. So I take care of my locks. So what I'm telling you, go reach out to them and ask questions. That's my little caveat if you need some information on that.
Yeah.
What I'd recommend, like if I can make a recommendation, is run a follower ad and say, are you from X area that has one of the coolest hairstyles, which is X? Whether that's X, Y, or Z, like different ways you can style it, we will help you have the best dreadlocks in X area. Follow our page where you can learn a lot more about hairstyles and different ways to do it. Like that, like that's literally it. First
Well,
question that you can ask is like, hey, do you currently have do you currently have locks, or is that something that you want? Well, I don't
mhm.
want it. Well, now I know that they're qualified.
Here's the
Well,
thing.
well,
Well,
it's she's doing hair. She's doing their hair is the thing. So they're paying her. So she's
Hmm.
running a special where she's doing the retwist, washing, and a style for the first time clients for 120. That's what she's
Hmm.
doing. So the thing is that she's doing their hair. It's just getting them there to book with her, and it's like she has a site and everything. But I was talking to Coach Sheik like, hey, do they need to come? Does she need to reach out to them? What I don't want to happen is, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't want them to have to go through this whole process. You know what I'm saying? Of going through all of these things just to get booked.
Hmm.
Because I know people's patience is thin. So it's like, okay, what's the quickest way we can get them booked in, right? Because we know once we get them in the chair, we know the lifetime value that we got this customer, right? But it's more so the process of getting,
The
getting
the quickest way generally isn't the most efficient way. What matters most is making sure that that client gets in that seat, correct? Therefore, the way about going and doing it, it doesn't matter how it's done. Would you agree? So if that's the case, we have a limiting belief in saying that, hey, we need to make people jump through hoops, and it's not something that we want them to do. Right? But also at the same time, it's like, how do we just get them in the seat? Because once they're in the seat, that's when the business owner can take over and increase that LTV.
the
So
best.
if you are the best well-known person that can do it in that local area and they just have a page showing how to do the twist, etc., it's like that's what's going to get them attention and to get to people to reach out. But if you reach out to them first, which not saying is the most effective thing on the planet, but if that can get them to have the conversation and get them to get that butt in the seat, it doesn't matter how it's done. Like efficiently, if the world worked where I could run an ad and be like, yo, if you're a teacher in school admin, book into my calendar, I'm going to get you 30 pounds down, the cost to acquire a customer is going to go way up because I'm getting someone to do something that's quite literally like, hey, put a ring on my finger. I'm going to take your money now. But the follower ads work super well because essentially all I'm asking you is to follow my page. Hey, you think dreads are cool? Follow my page. Then I'm going to reach out to you. Hey, have you ever wanted locks or do you just kind of like the style? Like that would be my question. Just giving you that. I'm literally giving you the answer right now. This is exactly what the fuck I would do. You run that, have the conversation with them. Hey, why don't
No,
you come in? I can help you with X, Y, and Z. They come in, it's over. That's it.
no, Shiro, I will say what Mason's saying is true. All right. The caveat, the way what I'm suggesting to you is I'm considering the fact that you have a limited budget, which is, again, Mason is probably under the impression of like, hey, you see his head nodding because it's going to cost money and time and energy to figure that out. But if you only have one shot at this, which is, again, it's a little bit tougher for you guys, 6 figures, 6 weeks, getting somebody in, limited budget, the best bet is funnel hacking and just seeing what the market is. That's how Mason started, by the way. He started with funnel hacking. So, um, like
yeah,
unlimited budget, more budget, time, energy, like that's, you'd want to do that. You'd want to have conversation, kind of figure shit out. That
I
requires
would
a
even, I mean, even with that though, like that's still where I would start, honestly, just because I don't think there's going to be too much out there in terms of like how to actually get people that do that thing certain results. And what I will tell you is like just within a local area, just on the CPM and how much limited money that you have spent, that personally, in my opinion, would give you the best chance.
So if that were the case, Charles, I mean, you'd kind of be taking, and we'll talk more about it, but you'd be taking
yeah.
a
Let's talk. We'll talk about it. Yeah, we'll talk about it.
yeah.
I
So
sent you. I sent you some stuff too, but we'll talk later. I got you.
yeah, yeah.
Appreciate you, Mason, too, bro. Appreciate that, bro.
Of
Seriously.
course,
Guys, that was a lot. 2 hours of golden nuggets. Is your brain melting yet? How's everybody doing? You
I
guys doing
love
good?
it, bro. Appreciate you, man. Taking some time out to pour into us, bro. Definitely.
100%. I gotta get going soon, but if anyone has like any other questions, like let me know. Or by the way, like I am inside of the Zeta Marketing Cheat Code like Slack channel with you. Um, I haven't like done my best in terms of keeping up where like everyone is at. Again, it's something that I used to do, but sometimes I'll like drop gold nuggets in there when I can. But does anyone have any questions before I go about either my journey, tips, tricks, advice, anything along the lines of that?
Charlotte, you got anything?
Nah, nah, not right now. But when I do, I'm definitely gonna tag you more, Mason, in there as well with our group and stuff. I appreciate you guys tons. But it's like, Coach, like I said, I'm gonna send some stuff in the group so both of you guys can see it and my thoughts and like what I did and stuff like that. But no, I don't have any questions like right now. I appreciate like I got a lot of notes, bro. So you know what I'm saying? Like this is good. I love it. Appreciate you, Coach. Getting them out here, man.
Yeah, man. Jalen, you got questions? Thoughts, questions, comments, concerns, thoughts? Can't hear you.
You're muted up, just FYI.
My bad. Sorry. Yeah, I don't have anything at the moment. That was very valuable just to kind of see your journey and really make niching down make the most sense for all of us. So look forward to that journey to getting there.
Hmm. You will. It just, like I said, like it just takes time. Whatever you're passionate in, like you can follow that. But overall, like what I will tell you, like genuinely at the end of the day, there's pros and cons to everything. Like there's cons to mine. It's not something that I would recommend to everyone and get the golden handcuffs on.
Hmm.
You
What
know,
year, what year would you say things really started picking up? I mean, let's take the breakup aside because there's 2 years lost to that.
if I wasn't if I wasn't a fucking moron, I would be probably making $1 million a year like 3 years ago. Maybe
Yeah,
two.
yeah.
Like God honest.
But would you say it's been 2 years or 3 years where it's been constant trajectory upwards? Like how, I guess like what I'm getting at, the reason I'm asking this question for you is a lot of the guys that are in here, you know the drill. Like you know who you were when you hopped in 2021, 2022. And a lot of people come with the mentality of, oh, I'm gonna hit 10,000 per month right away or blah, blah, blah. And it just there's a lot of learning
The
and then
money, the money is the least important thing. The most important thing is the skills that you have. Because I think one of the biggest things that get sold to people genuinely is the get rich quick scheme. The only way to get fucking rich is to get rich quick. Like just heads up, everybody. Like that's how it's done. But the only way that you can do that is to have the fucking skills to do it. If you spread yourself too thin, you're not going to be able to do it. But if you're locked in, you're the fucking guy that can do X thing for X person, doing it this one way, that is how you will be a millionaire. That's it. Like I feel like a lot of people overcomplicate it. But if Jalen, like if you're the person that can get roofers, like more clients with roofs, like that's all you would need to do. Facebook ads, roofing, I only sell with roofers. That's it. Done. But the biggest thing is not like focusing so much on the money in the forefront for anybody. The money will come. I promise you it will come because it's like, oh, I want to hit 10K a month. Going from 10K a month to 50K a month is fucking easy. Do you want to know what it is? Spend more. That's it. That's literally it. Like the first 10K is the hardest, but the reason it's the hardest is because you're so concerned about making the 10K. Fuck the 10K. Get the skills first. Once you have the skills, that's when you're going to make way more than 10K. Does that make sense?
I
Yeah.
100% agree. Like the first 10K, that's where all the skills are built. It's those.
Yes. It's not even like it's literally hockey stick growth. Like that's literally what it is. It's like once you have that like click, like because that's what I had. I had that like click moment when we switched to teacher. It's like everything I was doing was right. I was just missing this one piece. As soon as you solve the puzzle or flip the stone that's unturned from one side of the bridge to the other, that's how you're not gonna make 10K. You're gonna make 50. You're gonna make 100. The only thing that's different is you just have to learn new skills, aka how do I manage my time better and how do I train people? Sometimes you don't even have to go that far to create a business that's lean enough to make you 30, 40K a month so you can chill and relax if that's what you want. But you have the skills to do so.
Yeah, guys. First 6 months, guys. First 6, 9 months is just build all the damn skills. And then there's usually just one small pivot. It's a one small thing, and that just exponential growth. It's usually one small thing, guys. But you need the 100 BB guns first. I'm sorry, the BB bullets first, which are each of those BB bullets is the skill. And then down the road, everybody's time is a little different. You're gonna have that silver bullet. that silver bullet is going to be deadly. But you need to build up all those, get those little BB bullets first, which are all the skills. I know it's boring. I know we say the same damn thing all the time. I know people are wondering when is it my time. I know. But again, I hopefully Mason's story has just been proof of that. And
That was awesome.
You got like what I'll say is just like patience as well. Like what I'll tell you is, especially early on in my journey, it's like confidence comes from getting, you need to have less self-judgment. Like in order to be confident in anything in life, you need to be like just have less self-judgment of yourself. That's literally it.
What do you mean by that?
Because I used to beat myself up by being like, oh, I'm not good at this thing or I'll never be able to do it. But also, like what I've learned is that mentality will never serve me or serve anything that I've ever done. And the question I always ask myself, is it reasonable to be bad at something that I haven't done before or done long enough? And the answer to that question is always yes.
that's the big one, guys. Is it reasonable for me to suck at something I have not done or done long enough? The answer is always yes.
It's always yes.
And it's
It's like
always
in order to win, it's like you need to do so many reps or get to the 30 clients, whatever the magic number is for you to have the click. As soon as you have that click, it's over, it's done with, and you'll know. But you have to fall on your face many times, like I did. Like I've wasted thousands of dollars jumping from opportunity to opportunity, doing things I shouldn't have done. When it's like realistically 6 months of just like effort is all it takes. Like that's literally it. It sounds crazy, but that's literally it.
yeah.
But
Guys,
don't judge yourself of past mistakes. That's what I will say.
Brian, Stuart, Mac, Brian, you guys have questions? Anything else before we let me go?
My key takeaways, I think that was amazing what Mason shared, but one of the things that my key takeaways was like just focus on like just getting better at your craft of art and getting better at service delivery and just keep focusing on like don't focus on the money because that'll come. Just focus on like just getting better. Those are one of the few things I feel like that I took away from that.
But yeah, like focus on the skill. But then the other thing, Ronnie, is like this is why I spend time with you, where I tell you like you gotta go through you gotta like it's not about like you gotta obsess about looking at your client and be like, okay, why did this happen? Why? Instead of just like having the money come out of this, it's like why? What can I do? It's you gotta fucking have epiphanies. Nobody's gonna do that for you other than you.
Yeah.
No, nobody with Mason, he had to do all this stuff, and then he had one conversation with one person, which is like, who do you enjoy working? He's like, who made the most money? And then he went through all the data. Maybe he wouldn't have found anything, but it's kind of like you kind of like look under all these fucking rocks. That's what Mason did. You look under, oh fuck, there's something there. That might be something. But you got to take it upon yourself, right? We all have to take it upon ourselves to keep looking.
Yeah.
So it's not about like it's time, it's skill, but you have to be genuinely curious. You got to be fucking curious and pick up on patterns.
Yeah. I love that. I love picking up on patterns. So I'm super excited for this.
You know, guys, anything else? Mason, this was fucking awesome, bro. This is fire.
Sweet. Yeah,
Right.
if you guys need anything or anything, feel free to tag me inside the channel. It was awesome chatting with you guys. It's nice catching up. Obviously, Kushik, I know we haven't like talked one-on-one for a while. Um, don't man, I'm such in a weird place in business now where I'm like, do I pivot? Do I not pivot? Like I know you've kind of been understanding that for a while now. Um, it's just crazy. Like again, I don't want to make a mistake. I don't want to
Yeah.
split everything in terms of like my
Maybe
time, in terms of what I want to build. But these are serious things that I always think about as well.
maybe
Um,
share maybe share that really quick before you head out, kind of where your mind's at with that.
mhm.
Because guys, so Mason is, we talk about people making 100,000, 200,000 all the time that shut their business down or they pivot. And so Mason's here and he shared all the stuff with you. And now he's like, okay, I might pivot. So wild, right? So maybe Mason, you want to kind of share.
Yeah. So, I mean, the reason in which I did it and partnered 50-50 with a business owner is just to learn because that was the most important thing to me. But like I'm coming to a point now where it's like I know everything. and it like not even trying to be like egotistical by any means, because like I hope I don't come across that way, but it's the fact that I've been doing this long enough to understand that I understand the game. Like I get this concept and this level of business enough to be able to teach anybody it. So because I give 50% of my business away to someone else, it's simply just coaching them. It's like, why don't I just go relaunch and go compete with Brian Mark and all of those faces? Because if I literally could run the same funnel that I was running before and stack all of the things that I've learned and get people results ASAP. Also, I don't
This
have to charge 10 grand. I can charge 8 grand because right now, to present day, not even being as good as I was before, it didn't cost me any money to acquire like it didn't cost me any money to acquire a customer.
I'll talk to you later. I'm in a meeting.
And it's like if I can sell five, six people a month at 5K, that's 30 grand right there. Simple. Taking 20 calls. But
so
now
Mason,
for me, it's like in order to make 30, 40K a month, what you have to realize is like how many calls is that? I have a 50% business partner. Does it make sense to scale to 200, 300, 400, 500K per month to profit 100K? Does it make sense in terms of time, effort, and energy in order to do those things? That's currently where I'm at. So the pivot may be that I go off by myself and I make 40, 50K a month in 20 hours a work week and then just fuck off. Like genuinely, that's what I'm thinking I could do if I wanted. But also, it's like, do I want to grow this thing to $1 million a month? Can I? Yes, 100%. Do I want to? Is it worth the emotional, physical bandwidth and mental energy to do so to make potentially the same amount I could be making with less time? And knowing that time and is the most valuable resource on the planet, it's how much money can I make per unit dollars time. So that's kind of the
hopefully,
rock and the hard place in which I'm at. But also at the same time, it's like, this is my fucking baby. Like I grew this from nothing to something as well.
so if you again, as you guys can see, there's levels to this, right? So the level that he's at, the next usually, and this will make sense to you guys. You guys have probably noticed a lot of people go into consulting and coaching and stuff like that. That's where he's considering. It's like, should I go to that next level? Because at the revenue number he's at, anywhere from 50 to 70,000, in order to take home substantially more money, he has to spending 2,000, 4,000 on ads is nothing. But now there's the infrastructure. Now you have to hire another close, you have to hire another setter, you have to hire another this person. So it's like to go from 70,000 to 140,000, it's not going from 70 to 140,000. It's a lot of that, like for example, it's just like stress and hiring people and delegate. And so now your profit is like, let's just say theoretically, do I go from taking home $1,000 a month to now if I go from 70,000 to 140,000, maybe I'm taking home $1,000 a month, I'll take home 2,000 a month. Or do I just completely change vehicles where I run a more lean business and now I'm making 30, 40,000 a month, but I'm taking home damn near 90% of it. But I got to completely change the vehicle. So that's kind of where his mind is. It's like you'll reach a bottleneck, right? You guys will reach a bottleneck down the road. You guys, I promise you, reach a bottleneck, and then you'll consider something consult coaching. And that's why, by the way, Shirel and Ryan and some of you guys that have closed already know I already plant the seed in your head of going to consulting coaching. Jalen, this is one of the things I brought up with you as well, is all roads lead to consulting coaching in this business model. So that's kind of where Mason's at. So this will make more
Mhm.
sense as you guys progress. But yeah. And Mason, I would say, bro, just like you seem happy is what I will say. No, serious, bro. Like you seem really happy. Like in terms of the DMs or converse when you do talk, you seem really happy. So I think that's something, I think that's something you should consider. Like it's been a while. Like it's been years of fighting and ups and downs. And for the first time, uh not like a month or two, but like for a long time, months, years on end. I don't know how long it's been. I think I would have to look back at our conversation, but this is the longest sprint I've seen of you just seeming happy, and I think
Mhm.
that's what I consider. Um,
There's been like, it's funny because you guys will run into this too, maybe. But when everything started working, I got like, you'd think that you'd be like, oh, like everything's working. I'm like calm and I have this feeling in my stomach that everything's gonna be okay. Worst fucking anxiety I've ever had in my life was when I was making the most amount of money that I was making because I was constantly waiting to like everything to break. Because for the past like 2, 3 years, I've been fighting like tooth and nail to try to get this thing off the ground and be actually profitable, etc. But now like everything's working, like finally, like that feeling in my stomach and chest has been gone for months because it's not going anywhere. Like I have the skills now that I know exactly what to do when I need to do it. Therefore, I have freedom, and that's why I'm happy. Because I
Yeah.
could walk away from the business that I have right now, get a sales rep, and still make 20 grand a month doing fucking nothing. Like it's the sickest feeling.
So you seem happy, is for what it's worth.
Yeah.
Maybe before you consider enduring pain, maybe you ride it out to the sunset for 6 months, a year
Hmm.
before you consider that. Or, if you feel like the opportunity is going to be by wayside, then maybe get on it. But you are
Yeah.
happy.
Again, I haven't really decided what I want to do. Like the worst thing is, bro, is like I kind of want to do both, which is fucked up, but I think
Yeah.
it's doable, but also at the same time could be a bad thing.
It's the moment you said it's like, yo, bro, I really like this girl, but like I kind of want to see other women too at the same time. That's literally what you just said. You're like, I know it's a bad idea. No shit, Sherlock.
Yeah, no, I know. But I don't know, just an idea I've been playing around with. Like I think it would be fun. Um TMI, Koshik, and I'm gonna jump off because I know you guys are gonna talk about a lot of stuff, but we're looking at like flipping houses, etc., which is something I'm like now doing or like looking to doing as well. So we're gonna get into real estate as well and put some put
Okay.
some put some moolah away.
Okay. Don't forget to buy Bitcoin first.
Yeah, fuck off with your Bitcoin.
No, that's good, man. That's music to my ears. I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll let you guys go. Hopefully that was valuable. If you have any questions or if there's something you're not thinking about it, like please shoot me a message. I'll be able to help you guys out as soon as I see the message. Okay. Um, but thanks for
Thank you.
having me. And see you guys later, yeah?
Let's give him a round of applause.
I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much.
Cool. All right, bro. We'll talk.
All right, I'll see you guys.
All right. Golden nuggets. Hella golden nuggets. Hope you guys got value from that. Okay. So we're already 2.5 hours in, guys. So I'm probably gonna just like rapid fire going through questions and answers today. Um, is anybody in here in like a time crunch that they need to get something answered and
I'm
head out?
trying to I'm trying to go through my stuff real quick. I think my stuff would probably be really quick to go through. Just wanted to give you an update on where I'm at. Pretty much done with creating my ads. Just gonna run that through you. I sent you a little preview once you get the chance to see it, but I want to be launching here soon.
Okay, sounds good. Um, did you message me like edited versions?
Yeah, I sent you one of the updated versions, correct?
Okay, cool. I'll have a look and then I'll give you my 2 cents.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah. And anything else for you, Ronnie?
No, I think this was a great call. Got a lot of value. I learned a lot. Appreciate Mason coming out to the call. A lot of golden nuggets, like you said. But yeah, I'm starting to understand some of the things Mason's saying, like the stuff that he's saying, like just give it time and things will fall through. So I'm kind of seeing that through myself as well. But yeah, that's all I wanted to share with you.
Okay, cool. I'll have a look at your ads and then I'll give you my 2 cents after I review them. Okay.
Okay, cool, cool. Thank you.
Did you like record it through Loom and send it or
Yeah, I sent it through Loom, correct?
okay, cool, cool. Anything else you want to go over?
No, that's all.
Anybody else want to kind of go need to get going? Get out of
Yeah,
here?
I gave you the update earlier in the call, so we,
Okay.
where I'm standing. I'm just waiting for that approval process, and that's
So
really
you
it.
don't so one thing to note, Mac, you don't need to wait for HUP to launch your ads. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I thought it was part of the phone number thing, because that's
Mm.
no.
So basically what you can do is you can launch your ads, bro, and then you'll just use your personal phone number to have conversations with people. And then once it's approved, you'll swap out the phone number.
Oh, okay. So I already had I already have a business. Okay. All right. Okay. I thought that was part of you needed it to be approved so it can have the phone numbers through Go High Level or something like that. That's the reason why I thought.
It just
Okay.
things more efficient, more streamlined, and you'll experience that. So once you do get it approved and you plug your phone number and you start using your phone number for automations and everything, you'll realize it's more streamlined.
Right.
But for now, it's we just want to get launch ASAP because we want to get you on the phone, get the reps in.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'll continue going through the other part where like I'm at the understanding like the Facebook. I know I already have it, but it's just like understanding the Facebook on how to link it or something like that. And
Yeah.
that's really where I'm at this point.
Yeah. You just work your way through the rest of the automations and everything, get your ads launched. Um, should probably take you no more than 2 days. And then don't sweat this stuff. This stuff will happen when it happens. But what
Okay. Yeah. That's what the support guy told me. He said it's gonna happen. And he said the other parts that need to be approved, they will it will work because they already did the first one already. And then the part where you have just a FYI where you have the you have to send them what you probably might send through the text or the SMS.
Hmm.
The AI already does that.
Hmm. Hmm.
So
Okay.
during yes, just to give you just a heads up, like when I got there, they was like, oh, it's already there. And I was like, what? And it was like, yeah, the AI did it. And I was just like, okay. And they just pushed me through that process and then I just went through. So
Okay.
just to give you a heads up on that.
So you're talking about like when people message free video, the AI will respond to them the way we want them to respond in terms of the course material. Are you saying that or saying something
Yeah,
else?
yes. Based on the A2P, just so you whenever the next person, the when I went through the process of being a sole proprietor, for that situation, it's different from the other one because they give you multiple choices. But when you go through the registration part for just a sole proprietorship, it when it comes to the boxes where they say what are you going to possibly say for this, the AI already said um, your name or your business name, like admin agency. This is da 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 da. It was already in the box, and I just continued going. So yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. So yeah, main takeaway, bro, is just like worry about just getting launched. Don't worry about the A2P. Don't sweat it. It's not that big of a deal. Cool. What else? So Jalen, in terms of that question of like getting a question about price. Um, I will give you my 2 cents of what I say, but I'll let maybe Ryan and Shirel come in and kind of share what they've been saying. So Ryan, if have you had a situation where you're on a discovery call, you're trying to push to a sales call and they mention, okay, well, what's the price and this and that? And if so, how are you handling it? And then Shirel, same question for you.
I don't recall anyone asking me. They might have asked me one time, and I deflected it by bringing up the ad spend cost, basically back to the if you can spend 20 to 30 to whatever dollars a day on ads, can you afford? I think I if I recall, but I haven't. It hasn't been enough to obviously make me remember it, so I haven't really had to deal with it too much. They haven't asked the full pricing right there. I've gotten it at the beginning of the sales call, but I've not gotten it on the discovery call that I can remember.
Okay. In terms of the beginning of the sales call, how would you typically deflect that?
I think I told them um, that I kind of made it a little bit of a joke, and I said, we're going to get to that. I promise it's not going to be painful. I promise it's all going to make sense, but I want to make sure that we touch on these things before we get there, just so you have a full understanding of whatnot. It's generally what I said, and they laughed, they were cool with it, and we got to the end, and that was one that I actually closed.
Okay, nice. Okay, so I think part of it is just the energy tone and just like the way you talk. I think part of that's probably a big part of it.
Yeah.
Like, okay, cool. Um, Shira, when he gets back, I'll ask him kind of how he plays it. One thing that I like to do from time to time is I like what Ryan is doing. I personally, maybe it's just a me thing. I don't know that if I can pull that off. And maybe it's just part of it's just like my branding and how I like to kind of do things. But I bring things up. I say it's an a la carte system. So what I mean by that is, yeah, in terms of price, we'll get to that. It's more of like an a la carte system. It just depends on your budget. So whatever you feel comfortable spending, that's what we roll with. So whether you want me to set up the ads or you want me to set up the ads and then manage them? Or do you want us to do it for a 1 month or 3 months? How in depth do you want us to be? So it's kind of like you get to kind of pick and choose to build out your own package depending on what your budget is. But we'll get to that here in a little bit. There are a few things I want to go over first, and then we can start building that out. So I do something like that. So it's like all, so I basically say a la carte, and I say it depends on your budget. So I'm kind of empowering people and saying, hey, look, whatever you want to spend. So now people in their mind are like, oh, well, I want to spend 500 or I want to spend 1,000. And then what I do is I just continue the conversation and they forget. It happens every time. They forget. They don't even think about it. By the time I get to the price, they don't even think about it. So it's just about the truth is it's just about deflecting. The truth is you never ever want to get into a price ever. So if you've gone this multiple times, um, I would be curious why that's happening. I'd be wondering like what maybe you're saying or how you're saying it to kind of provoke that. I'm thinking maybe there's something that you're saying or doing in order to kind of provoke people to ask if that's not if that's something that is being a common occurrence. Now, if it's only happened like 2 times or something, maybe it's like, I would be curious, like out of how many discovery calls have you had and how many times does that happen?
I've had it happen about 5 times on the discovery call, and I'm following the script. So it's like they bring it up after I talk about the Lamborghini and the Honda. And so and then they won't exactly say, hey, does that make sense for your business for me to then book a sales call? And they're like, well, it depends on price. So, at that point, it's like the script's pretty much over besides booking the sales call. So, I just kind of got caught up and I just end up saying the price. And then they're like, well, that's not really in my budget. And a lot of those people, it has been where, their LTV, AOV is not there either. So it's like I kind of already know that they wouldn't be able to afford it, but, still taking them down the road anyway.
I'm thinking, because well, how many discovery calls would you say you've had?
Um, I'd say I've had probably about 10
Mhm.
where I've gotten them on the phone.
Mhm. I would say it's a little bit high. Um, let's see what Cheryl says. I'm thinking what might have happened. Yeah, I mean the LTV, yeah, you're right, but we want to take that out of our mind for now, right? We want to, because like here's the thing, is like it's not about whether the LTV is high or low and whether they could afford or not. As we've talked about, I've tried to drill that home um in depth. It's more about can you say and do things in a way where you're able to push it to a sales call. So there's something that you're saying, there's something that you're doing that's evoking that. Like just straight up, Jalen, it is what it is. So maybe what's happening is you're not, maybe, maybe what's because again, if it's like, yo, this Jalen person really cares. One, this Jalen person really cares. This Jalen person seems wise. You know what? Like I want to just have a conversation with this person. So if they don't feel that, and it's like, okay, well, I'm happy to have a conversation with you, but like, what's this even? That means that there's something that's not being built, I think. I think something not being built. And you can kind of see, Ryan and Shiro kind of nodding their heads. So something is there's not something that's like lacking um, what's the word I'm looking for?
There's not a genuine sort of,
There,
it
yeah,
feels salesy as opposed to like a genuine conversation, like you
Yeah,
want
it's,
to help
it's a
somebody out.
script at that point. Is
Yeah.
exactly
Yeah.
what it is.
I think if you build that connection where they're like, yo, I like this person. Let me just have a conversation with them. I think that's where we want to get people. So I think there's something going on there based off of what you're sharing. And
Yeah,
so,
and a lot of the ones that I catch up like that I can get on a call, it's like, okay, you say, hey, is this a good time? And then it ends up not being a good time and you hear all this background noise and it's like one lady, she had a salon, no, a spa, and she's in the grocery store, so I just hear a million noises. And so I'm still trying to go through the script and she's like, oh, you have my undivided attention. I'm just getting some food for my son. And
okay.
I'm like,
So for that one, let's put that one aside.
yeah.
Talk about that here in a second. Now for you, if that's something you keep running, so here's again, it kind of ties in the same thing, Jalen. It really does. Is like if I really like Jalen, if I think she can help me, if I genuinely care about her and I want to give her my undivided attention, I'm going to prioritize that conversation. Like how many times have I had a like Ryan, Jalen, Shirel, Mac, every single one of you guys have gotten so much value up front that none of you guys have showed up in your car. right? Because you actually wanted that call. You actually wanted to get to know me and what I had to say and how I was going to help you because of the value I'd given you so far. So it goes back to the same thing, I think, Jalen. Now, a trick for that, if you're telling me that if we work on your discovery call, and again, I'll have a look and we'll dive deeper, but if you continue to run to that, here's a trick. A trick is simply just like, cool. So Tuesday, 4 p.m. Okay, cool. Now, in terms of these calls, I will tell, and this is if you want to recall this or replay it back, I say something along the lines of, now, I will say this is probably going to be the most important call that you and I will ever have. And then if you decide you want to rock and roll and move forward, we'll have an onboarding call after that. But I just bring that up because you'll want to find somewhere quiet and you'll want to have your laptop because I'm going to break down this entire strategy and first you can actually see it for yourself. So now you're kind of like, and Mac is laughing because I said something similar to that with him. And you know, when you say it that way, again, if somebody genuinely believes like, okay, this person genuinely is wise or smart, da, 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 yeah, I'm gonna carve out time. I'm gonna give undivided attention to this person. You know what I mean? So small little things like that you can throw in there. But it starts, the base, the foundation is make people feel like you really care. It's not about just money and you are wise. All those things have to kind of come together first for this line to work. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so I do say that for the sales call. I haven't had issues necessarily for the few sales calls, but it's the discovery call where it's like a phone call and you can't see them, and then it's like, okay, 10 minutes in or,
That's
towards
fine.
the tail end, then it's like, okay, where's all this noise coming from when they said this was a good time?
Yes. The discovery call, that's kind of it is what it is. Like at that point, if you really think about step into their shoes, you haven't earned their trust yet. You haven't earned anything from them. So you have to kind of eat that. Just straight up, you have to eat that. For me, I know that you might not watch my 30-minute Loom video. I know that. I know that. So I'm taking a bet. I'm taking a risk. And it's like I do my job in terms of the, DMs and try to, give value. But at the end of the day, I'm taking a risk. And I know that if I throw it down, if I put it down the Loom video, I know that I'm going to get respect on the sales call. So this is the same thing. My Loom video is analogous to your discovery call. If you put it down, then yeah, they're respectful. And like you said, they're respectful on the sales call. They show up prepared and all that stuff. It's just something you have to eat, unfortunately. It's just part. If the funnel was different, where we had content for them to consume, it was a VSL and stuff, yeah, the discovery call might go a little bit different. But in this case, because of the way the marketing is set up, it's just something that you have to eat. Unfortunately, that's part of the sales funnel.
Got it.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mac.
How would you, and this is just, I'm just throwing paint at the wall at this moment. So for instance, like that person's on the call and you're like, oh, you get some groceries. Oh, what you getting? Like, would you like mix it up? Would you be like, hey, I know I need to get some groceries. Just kind of have that side conversation. Like, but I'll call you back or we can have this call at another time, da, da, da. How would you go about that? Or I'm just trying to see how would you, because I'm just saying I'm a finesse. I'll finesse you. Like I'll finesse my way out in a conversation, obviously, and say something to you, and you'd be like, what? And I'm like, yeah, and just keep going. Like I genuinely care or don't care. So at the end of the day, like, how do you go about that? My question for you.
Yeah. I think so. First thing I'll always say is like I think you have to test and figure out if that works for you. Like I had one guy, um, Jeremy. You guys might meet him. He's an OG member. He's so much like that. Like the first thing he does on a call, he just tries to figure out commonality, like Chiefs, Bang, like whatever it is, and then he'll latch onto that. And he's best friends with, and he's so good. So if that's more your style, bro, like that, like lean into that. Here's what I will say. The only thing I will say is that if you try to do like, oh, let me call you back or this, that is dangerous territory because you'll lose people. And maybe Jalen and Ryan can attest to that. If you don't get them, bro, they bounce. So when you get them, you gotta throw it down. You get them, you gotta throw it down, make a good job, do a good job on that first impression, and they might not, it might be hard to get them back. So
Okay, that's
I
what I
think
was asking. Okay, it makes sense because that was when Jalen explained like, oh, they was at the grocery store. I was like, I probably would have leaned more what they was getting their son, da da da, creating that type of rapport. But I was asking like, how would you go to see if what I was thinking pre? But as soon as I heard it, like what I would do automatically on the spot would be in line to what you should say. So I see.
because you're building, if you do it that way, remember what I said is like building know, like, trust, right? That's kind of
Right.
maybe the areas that Jalen could be a little bit stronger at. So if you talk about groceries and stuff, maybe that will build a little bit more know, like, trust. So long as you can get right back into it, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah.
I have been doing that. I'm not saying I haven't because the roofing guy, he had like a flat tire when I first called him. And then he was like, call me back on Monday. And he actually did answer. So, I am able to build rapport. I'm not just straight like, okay, line one, like, I do give a little personality there. And then my sales call for Wednesday, her last name was Robinson. And so she was like, man, it's crazy. I have somebody whose name is Jayla that works with me. And then my last name's Robinson. I was like, oh man, we could be cousins. And she laughed, so we were able to book a sales call like right then and there. So I do that. It's just, you're not gonna strike gold every time. It's just,
I
I'm
wonder,
just curious.
I wonder if it's so if you're doing that part, right? If you're building some type of so it sounds like you got that part down. Maybe what it is like that diagnosis part where you're letting them really like they feel like, oh, this person, Jalen really understands where my business is screwed up and she's giving me an aha moment. She's giving me a light bulb. Maybe that's maybe more along the lines of what's missing. If you got the personality down, if you're building that connection, maybe that's the part where it's like, I don't know that I've heard something from Jalen that made me go, oh, that's interesting. Oh, this is why this is my bottleneck, whatever. Maybe that's again, I don't know. I would have to watch and kind of pay attention to see more of that.
Mm.
Um, yeah, because there's like, and then there's trust. Um, yeah, maybe the no part is good, the like part is good, the trust part. Do I trust that this person, Jalen, knows what she's talking about and actually can help me? Right.
Yeah. I
So
think it's just all these slimy marketers out here. It's just kind of screwed a lot of these people's interpretation of us. Because that's where a lot of these conversations are getting back to. It's like, well, I paid and wasted X amount of dollars with so and so. And then, I'll dive deeper into that and they can't tell me anything that they did.
that
So, but
part, that
anyway,
no, no, that's tough. That's tough. That's the worst when, you just gotta keep probing and try to figure it out. Kind of what I did with us, right? I kept probing and probing, and I was like, and then I tried to give you a light bulb moment. I
mhm,
just kept probing and probing. I was like, oh, did they get the training? Who was it? Right. And then I was kind of able to kind of share a few things with you. And sometimes that's just the luck of the draw, you know.
yeah.
Shirel, how many times have you gotten, what's the price like on the discovery call? Like how many discovery calls have you taken, and then how many times have you gotten that? And how have you dealt with that?
Sorry, my mic was muted. Um, so I don't know the exact number of I took, and I gotta look at my thing, but I know it's over for sure, like 10 or 12. And I believe I got it like once.
Yeah.
I got it once, and I use what you use with the a la carte system.
Yeah, yeah.
I that's what I use, and it works pretty well because they understand like, oh yeah, like I'm not gonna charge you what I would charge a business that's making over $100,000 per year that needs more than what you need basically, and they understand it or whatever. But um, like Coach she said, if you build that no like trust in the beginning and they genuinely know you care, that's what changed the game for me is me actually caring. Because at first, I don't know if you remember on a call what I was like, bro, I'm going through the script, ain't nothing working, like these, and it's because I was just going through a script instead of like really caring and really diagnosing them, and really figuring out, okay, what is going on? Like, how long has that been going on? What makes you want to like really going into it? And they open up, and once they know that you're listening, is you rarely ever going to get that. Like, I haven't been getting that problem ever since that conversation with Coach Sheik. And then Coach Sheik, one thing that I do, just throw it in there, and they don't have to do this, but one thing that I do is at the beginning of the call, I let them know, hey, listen, just so to get the elephant out the room, I'm not asking you to buy anything, right? I'm just trying to figure your business out, figure what's going on with your business, see if I can even help with that situation. And when doing that, they're like, oh, okay, and just open up. But getting that elephant out the room in the beginning, like because they probably, oh, this is probably a sales call. He's trying to sell. No, because we don't even work with everybody. And when I do that, they want to prove themselves to me at that moment. They try to prove everything and oh, this is what I do. This is so we're trying to get here, and they're just opening up, and I'm just listening, literally, just listening. So that's what I do.
Are you acquiring all this information on the spot, or are you also utilizing the information that is given through the form prior to in order to, uh, you know, show that you kind of care? Because that's kind of really where I'm kind of
Me.
getting to.
So with me, I go off the script, but I go deeper into the question because I really like some stuff I don't get answers right away of what I need. And one thing that Coach Sheik says, I try to find where their pain is at and figure out, what's going on with that. That's what I do. And it helps me out. Like, so by the time I get to the ads, they like, oh my God. Like I did it with the loctician. I did it with her. And she was like, I've been looking for, like, she was talking for like 90 minutes at the end of the call. She was like, I apologize. I took an hour of your time, just me rambling, just me talking. I'm like, no, you're good. And then I told Coach he said it was a compliment. It was at the end when I collected money and everything. She was like, oh my God, like if you was gonna scam me, like you did an amazing job. Like she said that to me. So
That's one of the best compliments you can get.
Selling salt to a slug. That's crazy.
If somebody tells you, "Oh my God, I've been on so many calls. This is the best one I've had," or something like one of those, like these are genuine. Like people cannot come up with that. So it's a good compliment to get. You're on the right path if you get those. Um, what I was gonna do is I was gonna tr while we have some time here, and if you guys want to, whoever wants to hang out can hang out. But I wanted to kind of like go through Jalen one of your calls, just spend a few minutes here. Might be
Coach C,
beneficial.
before you get into that, I got to head. I'm trying to cook and stuff at the same time. We'll talk. I sent you some stuff. We'll talk or whatever. But I got to head. I try to get this stuff done real quick. So
Okay. Okay. So yeah, I wanted to get some stuff out of the way before we dived into that. So if there was something last minute, like Ryan, if you had something, or Mac, or Shirel, or Riviera, or Stu, if you
now
guys
we
in particular,
mm-mm.
that you
We
guys,
can go over mine later on. Yeah, it's not a big deal or whatever. Once I talk to you, then I'm gonna talk to the client about what to do. So if that's me doing the customers for them and going in and actually booking her stuff and doing that, we can talk about all of that stuff. I know it's a deeper conversation. So
I think if you got the time, bro, it depends on how in deep you want to go to learning. You saw Mason's
I
story.
want to go real deep. No,
So
I
if
want
you
to go real deep. Yeah.
okay, in that case, then I mean, set it up.
Pause, but yeah. So
Mac out here
yeah.
talking.
Yeah, Mac over there crying, y'all is laughing. Hold on, pause, Mac. You laughing too much, man. But yeah, yeah.
But
So
yeah, if you wanted to, then I mean, yeah, if you're of the mindset of like, hey, I want to take this opportunity to learn, work the leads, like do it yourself, like do
okay.
it. There's nothing stopping you.
Okay, that's cool. And like I said, the other information we'll talk about everything. Like I said, get back to me when you can. Once we talk or whatever, I'm gonna talk to her about everything. But she's on board, like, hey, whatever you guys, or whatever. She's open minded. But yeah, just letting you know.
Okay. Okay.
Awesome.
Cool. Um, Riviera, did you have anything in particular that you wanted to go over, bro?
Um, just real quickly, like I'm gonna show like when I say like there's gonna be a 3-page. I mean, we're gonna give you our 3-page sales funnel, whatever. I'm gonna quickly show like the screenshots of the page. But should I, where there's placeholders where it says insert city, insert um shoot, what is it? Like a location name. Should I just leave those as is like that so that way I don't want to just say like Los Angeles. I don't want to, even though they're examples, like, I don't want to pigeonhole myself. But yeah, I was curious your thoughts on that.
So you're talking about the 30K video, and are you talking about my version or the other guy's version?
Your version.
And so it's like, hey, this is the 3-page sales funnel that we use. On the opt-in page, we have name, da 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 da. And so you're gonna zoom, you're thinking about zooming in, and then you're wondering if you should have a location or if you should leave like insert location.
Um, I guess it's before any form, but it's like sometimes there's like material on the uh landing page that says attention and then location, name, business owners. Um,
I think
should I put like an example like Los Angeles, or should I just like keep it location name? That way people know it's something they can customize.
I think if you want to go a level, so you can, I think having it where it's yellow and just the location would be ideal, and you have like an arrow that goes to it. If you want to go a level deeper, you screen record your computer, go in there and change the location, and so then you can visually show that the location being changed. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Um,
Unless
I
you're,
guess yeah, I just have to time it with what I say if it makes sense.
yeah,
Um, based on what I'm saying at what time. I guess I'm just asking. It wouldn't hurt it too bad if it was just kind of generic, like you know,
like just the look, just like Los Angeles or whatever, like leaving it
yeah,
as,
like that, or maybe even just putting like insert location.
yeah. Um, do you want to show me really quick or
Yeah, I could do that.
help? Would it
Uh,
help?
yeah.
Understanding
Let
where
me
you,
send you. So I'll send you on my Slack to the messages, and then I'll pull it up right here.
okay.
Let's see. Share. And then this is like one example. It'll flash really quickly. And then this as well, like I have the insert your IG, insert phone number. And then on the editing side, it's just gonna, I don't have it fully edited. I just have kind of it there, but like I have with his exact photo to your to run targeted Facebook ads with his exact photo to your desired location, filtering for the top. And then the other part is like use this funnel, direct the traffic to this 3-page sales funnel. On the opt-in page, we collect name, email address, and phone number. On the application page, we use qualifying questions to separate the freebie. Then we direct the qualified prospects to DM us the keyword. But yeah, I'm just using those slides, but I'm just curious if I should be like customizing like a placeholder that says Los Angeles, or just having it just show like that. I'm trying to think like if the viewers watching, like they would be thinking, oh, I can insert my city, I can insert my IG, right?
I think the way you have it, like go back to the ad.
The ad.
So what I would do,
clients. Step 2, run targeted Facebook ads with his exact photo to your design.
So here's what I would do. So I like what you're doing. What I would do is I would have that like on a Facebook feed. Because right now, like again, people are familiar with like seeing an ad on the feed and it says sponsored. So I would like have it on there and then I would like zoom in, blur everything out, and have an arrow that points to an ad.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Small
from like
little
the ad
detail.
manager preview, like where it shows the preview and maybe zoom in there.
Like imagine, so let me share my screen with you real quick. So for example, I would have the ad like right here. And then I would, so when you say like click on this ad right here, I would basically blur out the background and I would zoom in and have an arrow that points right to the ad because then they can see, oh, it's an ad. And then people will click on it. And then I can show myself people clicking on it. And then it would open up the opt-in page.
Gotcha.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Probably have to fabricate it or like somehow
yeah.
insert it onto a previous post or something.
Exactly. So, and then if you go back to your ad, if you go back and share your screen again,
On this part?
yep. Go and hit, yep.
To your desired location, filtering for the top 10% income earners to ensure you're getting in front of established business owners. Because the offer is so good, you'll have business owners clicking on your ad nonstop. Step 3, to convert the clicks into leads, direct the traffic to.
So when when you say you'll have business owners click on your ad nonstop. So now imagine it goes back to that screen. You can see somebody click on the add to learn more button.
Gotcha.
Yeah, how that would tie into what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah, that way it'll make more sense than abstract because they might not make sense.
Then they'll see the ad will go into the funnel. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it makes a lot more sense.
And then
I guess there's another. Oh, you want me to play it?
Yep.
Stop. Step 3, to convert the clicks into leads, direct the traffic to this 3-page sales funnel. On the opt-in page, we collect name, email address, and phone number.
So what I would say 3-page sales funnel, and I would have all 3 pages. And then I would zoom in to the opt-in page, which would be this page.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. That way they see all of it.
Yeah, because when you say this funnel, they're like, what the heck is this funnel? What are you talking about? You know? And then I would zoom into like this opt-in page, and I wouldn't worry too much about location name. I get what you're getting at right now, but as you're playing it, it's like that's just too small of a D. I would assume it's hard when you're in the edit, but then third person looking in, it's kind of common sense for me looking outside in. It's like, oh, I wouldn't catch that detail, so it's not that big of a deal. So I don't worry about it.
Okay, cool.
So it's good that you asked a question, but I think it's you can leave it just the way it is.
Okay, maybe only in the ad part then. Maybe when I'm showing like it looks like a live ad, then it might make sense on the ad. It might say Los Angeles business owners or California business owners or something.
Yep. Yeah. So the ad, you'd probably maybe change that up and actually put a location there.
Okay,
Yeah. But yeah, it looks good so far.
that's pretty much it. And yeah, I took a look at your script, so I already have it audio recorded, my take on that, and then I just need to insert it to the confirmation. But other than that, that's pretty much the last edits here.
I was thinking about that. I mean, part of me was thinking about editing. I mean, you already record. I mean, it's probably fine for now. But part of me was thinking about introducing the video, like, hey, congratulations, welcome to this. Hey, congratulations. Congratulations. My name is Krishik and I'm Riviera and we'll be your hosts. And then you get right into it or something. This way my face is introduced like right away.
Right away versus
Because I
later
don't,
on.
yeah, because people probably won't watch it all. Like some people are not going to watch it all the way through. But if you get my face early on, then it's not going to be a surprise.
Yeah. I wonder if I could just do the same thing, like a voiceover that does some B-roll in the beginning. Um, yeah, I know it's not as probably yeah, I'll have to figure out how to make it the look and feel of that, but um there's probably some way to interject it too. I have to look at the script at what I say in the beginning so I can see how I can segue it. But yeah, I guess I'll have to see if the script is too limiting. But
Yeah,
yeah, because
not that.
people retention, I don't know. Yeah, they might not see it. So just yeah, I'll look in the script. Maybe we could insert something in the beginning.
Yeah. I wonder if maybe also the thumbnail could have both you and me in there. So
Right.
right away they see that.
'Cause it
Um,
says it starts with a few more things that you need to know. You made it. It's official. Da da da. We're super excited to have you. I don't know, somewhere in there, yeah, I could probably insert it. I'll have to just see.
don't worry about right now. Like I think what you have is fine. It's just a small little thing I was thinking about. If we have any complaints or any issues, then maybe we'll go in there tweak it. Maybe it's not that big of a deal right now.
Okay. Okay, maybe just
But if you think of something, just go ahead and go at your own fly. Like if you think of a way to introduce, but don't stress about it too much.
hmm. Yeah, I was thinking even doing like a teaser, being like, but then more on him later. And then it goes into that other part that you had added, where I kind of get more in depth,
Yeah.
something like that.
Just a friendly ask. What stage is Daniel? What stage is he in? Because since I'm just new, I'm just just watching.
So I'm doing something different with Daniel versus what I'm doing with you guys. So Daniel, um, he's basically, uh, yeah, he's not doing the same thing you guys are doing. So if I were to explain going super in depth, you'd be like, what the heck? What's going on here? Why is he doing this? So it's very different. But he's kind of gone past the niching stage. So we did dentist, we did HVAC, we did doors and windows. We did so many different niches. So he's kind of doing something a little bit different at this point compared to what you guys are doing. It's a journey. And so like what he's doing, that's what I'll do with somebody if they're with me for like 2, 3 years, is kind of what I'm getting at.
I figured because when I was looking, I was like, oh, he's creating his own funnel, but it looks like more of a partnership. I mean, like it's not. It don't take a rocket science to understand when I watched it. I was just like, okay, he's using the same model, same template, same everything, and similar like franchising, like what you said originally. So I'm. That's why I was just curious to say, okay, what stage is he in? Okay, cool.
Yep, you got it. Bang on. That's pretty much it. Um, but yeah, so other questions, Riviera, that you have?
No, that's pretty much it for me.
Okay.
Dialing
Um,
it in.
okay. What else is going on, guys, in terms of questions? Ryan, you got anything, man, that you want to go over?
Nothing pressing. I'm just finishing up the painter ads in the funnel, getting that ready to launch on Wednesday. I've been having trouble getting him to get me into his Facebook. He's his wife's in the hospital and he's doing a big paint job. So I'm hoping I gave him tonight some time to sit down. I'm hoping I can get in there tomorrow, but I'm finalizing everything else before that happens. And then I've just got an onboarding call tomorrow morning and then an onboarding call Wednesday morning. Um, and then I think I've got a discovery call on Wednesday as well. But otherwise, yeah, just trying to get these painter ads up and running. And then the next two, the one I'm probably going to have to just, refund and move on. I'm using it as the experience, but it's just I don't think the AOV is there. It's a baby boutique clothing store, so I'm getting a lot of these boutique. We had talked about this last time, a lot of clothing that are just not sustainable. I don't think her price point and the cost of time it makes to make these clothes. She's great. She's a D1 athlete. She's a really smart girl, and I'd love to work with her. I just don't think it's gonna be feasible for her right now at this point. The other one is actually got some promise. It's a makeup academy. She sells these courses for I think $2,600 and $3,600. And she's the only one in our area that does this, very high end. Her website's extremely high end, and she gets I don't know. I think a couple every couple months that reach out and she books, so she gets decent. She gets a decent amount, but it's mainly organic leads or people that find her posts or that are referrals. Um, so I think I looked up the numbers for cost per lead for that niche, and it looks pretty good for what she's trying to do, and she's got a good foundation already built up. So I do feel pretty positive about that one. That one's on Wednesday, I believe.
Okay. And that's an onboarding or sales call? Is that the one that you
That's an onboarding. So I got her locked in. I wasn't sure if I'd be able to. Initially, I thought she was selling them a la carte because I'm gonna work on sort of tidying up the packages because it's a little confusing on her website. She's got them a la carte basically like I don't even know what they are. I'm not into makeup, obviously, but there's like you can buy this training module for this amount of money. You can buy this training module for this amount of money, but then at the bottom, it's for this course, it's a week-long course for 2,600. For this, it's a week-long course for 3,600, and they're all prerequisites. So you can buy them individually, but you need them all to do this. So I think for this process, we're going to focus on selling. We're not going to even offer them as I'm going to have her take those down as individual modules, maybe as an add-on, but sell just the courses themselves, because that's what she wants to sell anyway, is these full training courses, to makeup artists and the like.
So once you onboard her, let me know because
Okay.
I'd be very curious to hear like what you have. Like show me the website, show me what you're thinking about doing, and then I'll give you my
Yeah.
sense. Just because I think this is gonna be pretty different. So the painter versus this one is gonna be very different.
Yeah. Yeah.
Agreed. So I just want to make sure that I give you my 2 cents and then
Sure.
that.
Okay.
So okay, cool. Yeah, if you're so you're trying to sell the high ticket one or you're trying to sell the individual courses? What are you trying to do?
Trying to sell, well, ideally the high ticket. Just going through the numbers, it seemed like there's a better ROI. The profit margin is much better, obviously, in the larger. Plus, her goal anyway in the long term she told me, is to stop selling them individually, to sell them the courses in full, because so they have to basically she sells to one of her main clients are movie and TV makeup artists, and they have to be accredited for most union jobs across the board. They can't just have one training, they have to have all of these. So for those types of people that she's going to sell the entire week-long training to, and she wants to eventually push out the individual modules, because that was kind of her way starting out to get people in the door, so they'd see a $250 module or a $350 module and they could afford that, and then she'd try to upsell them and get them to buy the entire course. But she wants to sort of phase that out and go directly into, these are your two options. This is a professional academy. This isn't like we're training whoever. Like, you've got to qualify for this course. You've got to hit all of your accreditations. You've got to finish your courses on time, and you've got to show up, and then you get this accreditation at the end. So she wants to basically go just directly into that, instead of having the a la carte options, which I'd mentioned that on the call, and she agreed immediately. She's like, yeah, that's kind of what I want to do. So that's her overall plan.
So I'll have to have a deeper look.
Yeah.
a few things is a few strategies like it'd be a sales ad that would go into a funnel to buy one of her products. And then from there, then there's like nurturing. This is literally what you and I did. And
Hmm.
it's like a sales call where she sells a high ticket thing. That's a one type of funnel, which is basically what I did. Going from a sales ad directly to a page to buy a 2,500 or 2,800, that's not going to work.
Right. Yeah.
Just
And that's what I told her. I was like, well, and um, her best asset is her sales ability, which I gleaned very quickly when we were on the call. She gets these people in and can lock them down. So she wants to get them directly to jump on a sales call.
so
That's her ideal kind of path.
So the niche funnel that I teach you guys is basically a lead ad, and then that's going to go directly to a calendar page. And then after the calendar page, the calendar page, and then there's a discovery call and then the sales call. So this is pretty much like high ticket, like going right to the high ticket stuff.
Okay.
So pretty easy to set up. If she's good at nurturing people, if she's really good at selling people, like this is it. It's bread and butter, very easy to.
Okay. Okay.
That's gonna be how you sell a $2,800 plus thing, very easy.
Yeah.
Another thing is, but the thing is, this is like worldwide. This is not like local. You can be running the ad locally, but I don't know. Another thing is you run like the follower ad, and that basically gets them to follow. And then you have a DM ad. This is literally what Mason does. And then this one from follower, you do a discovery call and then a sales call. So basically whatever Mason was explaining. So basically you have a follower ad,
Hmm.
get the follow, she shoots them a DM, push that to discovery call, push that to sales call. Out of 100 followers are going to turn into a call. Another thing is a DM ad, and then that, you have a conversation at DMs, and then you push that to a sales call, and then she closes them. So these two are kind of in conjunction. So you basically have this option right here. You have this option right here, which I think is probably the simplest one. And then you have this option right here, which is, more advanced. This is what I do. So these are the different things that you can play around with. I know I'm giving you a lot right now, uh,
That's good.
but yeah, that's kind of what you're playing around with.
What's that
Okay.
N thing mean? Is that an N? N? What does that mean?
Where
On the top one. Sales call.
Oh,
Yeah,
nurturing.
nurturing.
yeah,
Nurturing. Okay, all right, cool. I'm still trying to remember understand the lingo because you be using lingo and I be trying to make sense of what you're saying. So I got it though.
yeah, it's just yep. So I guess what are your thoughts when I go over this with you, Ryan? Any thoughts, questions, comments, concerns? I
No,
took
I mean this is very helpful because like I said, I think I knew the straight to a buy was not going to work to a buy now page or anything like that was not going to happen with that pricing. Um, I think what I do need to figure out with her is the offer that we're going to put out there to entice people to do this.
which one
And
of these are you into? Which one of these three?
I my initial thought is the for her, just having heard her is the lead ad to the calendar page to the discovery call and have her land on a sales call because I know she likes to have um conversations with these people and she's really good at she was a makeup artist forever. She knows how to get there so she can connect with these people that want to get to this point. And she's very good at talking. So I think that might be her bread and butter as far as getting on a call with somebody and locking them in. So that's my
Yeah.
first instinct.
So I think you're gonna have to maybe do a little bit of research, but like for the ads, it's just like bang out a bunch of them, honestly.
Yeah.
But the way I like to do it is like, let's say, for example, I'm talking to dentists. So basically, um, they're all like Cam's funnel, the 6, 7 figure funnel. Um, um, So it's like this is what you basically kind of need to figure out. So it's like what offer, what thing do these
Hmm.
artists look like? Hey, if they want your ads, like, hey, we guarantee you, da da da. If you're interested, click book a call with me. So I just don't know what this needs to be. So
Yeah.
Like the
Well, and
way
that's my thought was like maybe if she includes like a free um one of the modules, or she can add on something. I don't, she can get creative with it. We were going to sit down and kind of brainstorm, adding on like makeup for, obviously I don't know, but like let's say makeup for reality TV or something, and it's a module she'd normally charge like 150, $200 for. I don't know. Just throw out a number, and then maybe you get that if you lock in this $3,600 package, because that's the one she's pushing, try to get people in the door. Um, well, I got to see what her margins are, what she would stand to make and lose if she did something like that. But that was my initial thought. Or so she does. Also, the other thing is she's running a studio. She has a makeup studio with people that pay her to use the studio to do hair and makeup. And then she does the academy, but she doesn't want to push the studio because that's going pretty well and that's her own thing. She wants to push this academy and she wants to go fully into that herself. She wants to just be basically a tenant for this studio. So I don't really want to wrap anything up in that side in this, but I think there is a possibility to either add like a teaching module or giving some kind of free value that wouldn't hurt her too much in the back end. Because if she can book one of these, I mean, it's almost, I don't know her profit margin on top of my head, but I remember it being very high because it doesn't, she has these basically set up, these training modules set up just like you got it all, like the media is ready to go, everything's ready to go. So it's basically she does very little after that fact. She just kind of checks in and makes sure everything's going well, and she has somebody that's assigned to sort of help them through the process. So it's kind of icing on the cake if she can get somebody to book that $3,600 pack. Even the $2,300 package would be great.
I think so you don't want to say anything in terms of price on the ad, right? You don't want to say, hey, hey, look, if you click on this ad, I have a $3,600 where you get it for,
Yeah.
I you just have to kind of you gotta figure out the angle of like, hey, if you click on this ad, hey, if you want this thing, click the button below, book a call with me. Or I don't know. Again, we have to sit down and have a conversation, but the goal is this has to be very complex. So the way here's how we do it is let's say we have like, for example, we want to go after dentists. What we'll do is we'll have a conversation with one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10 dentists, and then we basically
Mhm.
get an offer. We say offer A, offer B, offer C, offer D. Offer A is 20K guarantee in 30 days. Offer B is like, I don't know, we'll give you 20 Invisalign in 10 days or you don't pay. Offer C is, I don't know. And then we basically go to each dentist and say, which one of these do you like? Dentist one says this one, dentist two says this one, dentist three says this one, dentist four says this. And then eventually one of them is going to be a winner. And then once that's the winner, that basically becomes the headline, that becomes the offer, and all the ads and all the surrounding marketing revolve around that. That's how we came up with this. So
Okay.
that's what I'm getting at is like, let's say she talks to, let's say we take a bunch of makeup artists and we say, which one of these offers would get you to book a call with this person? And then all of your marketing revolves around that.
Okay.
That's
Yeah, that
what.
makes sense.
So it's like we got to do the research too. You got to first, whether you got to talk to her customers or other makeup artists, and then figure out, okay, what is something that's compelling that would make you want to book a call? Like, what do you really want?
Okay.
And then all the marketing circles around that to get them to book a call, and then she does her song and dance to get them to buy.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so that sounds good. Yeah, so I'll just let you know when we have that call on Wednesday. I'll put the onboarding up, the video up, and we can take a look and I'll let you know where we stand on everything.
Yeah, sounds good.
Cool.
Cool. Um, all right. Anything else, guys? No? Okay. I am running on fumes, but I will spend a few minutes, Jalen, just kind of skimming through a video, see if anything jumps out at me. Do you have a call? If you can throw them in here, Jalen, that would be great. But for now, it's fine if you want to just show me something really quick and I can have a look.
The only call was the one I sent in the Slack that's recorded because I've only had one sales call.
Discovery calls.
Oh, okay. All of those I've recorded on my little AI thing, but I haven't transferred them, so I'd have to send those later.
Okay.
I do like I record them, but it's not like, with video and stuff because they're phone calls.
Yeah. Um, yeah, if even if they're just phone calls, if I can hear, I can kind of get an idea and be like, oh, here's where things are going wrong or right. So if you want, I don't know if there's uh like what would be the most efficient thing to do. But definitely, like I would say for you, Jen, like this is very important. Like this is not lightly. Like what I'm seeing with you, the bottleneck right now is this. So we need to get this dialed in. And so if I don't, I need to have a look because I think there might be a cancer brewing. Is what I'm getting at. So I was hoping to kind of do a little bit of troubleshooting today for you.
Okay.
So yeah, I think it's very important for me to review something for you.
Well, I'll get those transferred and uploaded onto something and put them on my sheet, and then I'll let you know when they're on there.
You know, another thing you can do is you can go to Loom and you can actually just like upload videos. Do you know that?
No, did not know that.
Yep. So you can just come in here and say new video and then just upload it and then boom, it's right on Loom. You don't have to stress about it. And then you can just, once you have those links, you can just drop those links in here.
Okay.
That might be, I don't know if that's faster or easier compared to what you were thinking about doing.
Oh, well, the other way I was doing was, my frame IO is the link I sent you if you wanted to leave comments from that sales call I had. But I pretty much was telling you where to skip to, and we talked about it. So,
Yeah. Yeah. So here's kind of where my head's at is like, if you feel like based off of today's conversation, like if you feel like, okay, I feel like I know a pivot I need to make and go make that pivot and then send me a call, or if you want me to review a current call, it's kind of up to you. And when I say review, I'm not going to do a thorough review because those take me hours to do for a proper discovery call and a sales call, but I can spend like 15 minutes just clicking around. So did you want me to do that with the current one, or did you want to maybe do a few with the feedback from today and then let me know? Where's your head at?
um, I'll probably definitely do the feedback option like that I've learned, especially with the pricing, since that has been coming up quite regularly for me. So, I'll try the a la carte option that you mentioned. Probably be the best bet for me to nip that stuff in the butt.
Okay. So my big feedback is this. So you should not, first of all, if you're getting that, there's a problem, right? Like if you like the fact that you have a tool at your arsenal to deal with is good. But the thing is you should not be getting hit with that. And the reason for this, again, you heard what Ryan said, you heard what Cheryl said. Out of 10, 15 calls, we've only gotten that once. And me, same thing. If I do a bunch of calls, I barely ever get that. And so it's like if you're continuing to get that, if you have 50% of your calls are ending that way, that means you got a problem. Like there's something you're doing wrong in your discovery call. I think what it is, if I were to give you maybe a little bit of feedback, is come into section 2 and then restudy this video, the sixth thing that every successful business has. And basically the goal is moving for like whenever I look at a business, whenever I have a conversation, I'm just trying to figure out where the issue is. Like when I have this conversation with you, this part is not broken. This part is not broken. This part is, I think I think that something is going on here in terms of the discovery call. And then the sales call, I feel like if there's an issue here, there's most likely going to be an issue here. We haven't crossed the bridge here in terms of your business, and we haven't crossed the bridge here. So like literally I'm practicing where I preach. So it's like I'm looking at your number, nothing's wrong here, nothing wrong, never, nothing ever is. There's something on here. Right. And again, how am I doing it? I'm saying, okay, how many people have you had a conversation with? How many times are you getting this? Okay, Shirel, how many times? Okay. And that's how I'm kind of figuring this out. So it's like, I think, so first of all, you need to, if I were you, I would study this video again. And then second, I think what's happening with you is I think that you're not going deep enough on these things with the business owner and giving them light bulb moments. That's my theories because it sounds like you're being personable with them. It sounds like you're not being robotic with them. It sounds like you're not making it seem like a script. So the issue is probably just giving people aha moments. And so I think that could be the core issue. So the thing is, if you are gonna, so going into this week, focus on really building a connection where it's not a script back and forth. Again, it took Shirel a little bit of role playing for me and him for him to get it. And again, that might be an issue. I don't know until I have a call, I see a call. I don't know. Maybe it is too much like a script. I don't know. Maybe you are not being as personal as maybe you think you're being. But it's like make it conversation. So here's a few things we want to write down. More conversational, less script like going from bullet point, like stay honest and sometimes go back and forth. That's normal. It's okay. You don't have to be going in order. And then third thing would be walking away from every conversation where you feel like somebody has had a light bulb moment where they're like, oh, like kind of with you. When I said to you, hey, here's why your ads aren't working. Hey, do you remember you signed up with this person? This person went from, oh, remember how you literally said, oh, go into your conversations trying to give people that light bulb moment. If you can just do those three things, I think you will not have people hitting you up with that question of like price. That's what I think. And if you notice that pattern, let me know. Hey, Kaushik, I'm not getting this. I think I've shifted something. Then it may then at that point I might not even have to like review a call. Honestly, it might not be until I have to review like a sales call from you because this part might be good. Now, in the event that you keep getting it, it's 50% of the time people are asking you about price. Well, then go ahead and use that line. But again, that line is like putting a band-aid over something that needs stitches. That you still getting that line of what is the price, I think is a problem. How you know you've solved it is people are going to stop asking you that. I think. I don't think that it's a market thing, by the way, right? I don't think. I don't think people just in your market are asking that, and they're not asking Columbus or these other locations. I don't think so. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Um, so I think definitely having to make them say, oh, it will definitely be more kind of front and center, instead of just trying to get to the questions, of
Yeah.
course, that are on the script, but like there needs to be more digging, I think, than what's on the script, in my opinion. So
Yeah. Exactly.
I'll probably have to tweak it to so I know, like, ask this question too, like if they said they work with a marketers, whatever, since that's seems to be a common trend. Um, and I've been trying to go down that rabbit hole of prying so they can kind of see the problem that they have with the other marketing people and why things didn't work. So
So, for example, with the static image ad, okay, let's say you found a static image ad. Then what did the conversation sound like? Okay, it looks like you have a static image ad. Then you said what? Then they said what? Then you said what? Just really quickly, kind of like get me an idea of like what that looked like.
um I mostly asked I first discovered that he'd never seen the ad but before, and so then I said, well, kind of what's the follow-up? He says, well, I don't really know, then he's just like, well, we've been spending 4,000 on that a month for Meta, and then he goes down another rabbit hole of other marketing he's tried, which is like Google, and then he said he didn't realize he had a Google My Business, and then he had to fight to get it back for some reason. Um, and then so then I'm trying to get back to the questions of like what's his pricing. And so he basically said his pricing fluctuates depending on, how many roofs he gets. But one of his biggest issues is if he gets leads, they're tire kickers. They're not people that are looking for quality roofing replacement, which is the main thing he wants to do. He'll give free estimates, but only if it's for um, full roof replacement. And then, but
So,
a lot of times people want repairs and he has to charge for that. So,
okay, so let's just take this conversation, okay? Here's kind of how I would play it, okay? And here's the thing. You got to make people believe they could have 10 problems, but you got to make them believe, have a light bulb moment of at least like one kind of core thing in order to get them to like, oh, I didn't think about it like that. Oh, that's so interesting. Okay, let me talk to you more, Jalen. Okay. So you have a conversation and you're like, okay, cool. You're running Facebook ads. Okay, cool. Got it. What ad are you? Oh, I don't know. You pull it up. And then you're like, oh, I see it's a static image ad. This is what it actually looks like. And then you go, and then here's the thing, he's going off of Google ads and this and that. That's fine. He's venting. But the thing
mhm,
is, venting is not the same thing as having an aha moment,
mhm,
right? Because venting is cool. It's like this person, but like, why on earth would I listen to Jill and have a conversation with them if I don't feel like she's knowledgeable and going to give me some kind of aha moment? So it's like, okay, let vent. That's good. Then what I would do is I would go into cool. So basically, and then I would get him to say, okay, so tire kickers got it. And then what is a follow up? Oh, I don't know. Okay, cool. So basically, John, here's the deal. In terms of ads, like, do you remember what got you in here? It was a free video commercial, right? So that is by design, right? We've tested a bunch of different ads out, and that's what gets people to click. And guess what? Because we're giving them a free video commercial, that's why you and I are having this conversation right now, because you know something like that is extremely valuable. Now, when I look at your ad, it's just this. And let's just say it's some trashy image ad. Now, the thing that you're getting tire kickers with is because one, it's just an image. There's nothing crazy compelling about it. Here's what we would do. For us, what we come to find is that a really good ad has this format: hook, problem, authority, solution, call to action. So what we do is we hook them with blah, blah, blah. I'm making something up right now. Just try to understand the point. Authority, hook, problem. Hey, is your da 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 da, this is happening. Well, problem, authority, solution, call to action. Now, the crazy thing about ads is if you put that message in front of the right person and they're in a lot of pain, just like again, you wanted this free video, we can do the same thing. We can target a person that owns a cat, lives on a particular street, blah, 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 right? So
Yeah.
that's something we would do at the ad level. Now, the other thing that you're doing wrong, John, is that just like, again, me and you having this conversation, right? I haven't shown you anything. I'm just having a conversation where I'm getting information from you, right? And guess what? My system reached out to you automatically, right? So as soon as you opted in, we had some automated messages go out. We use AI to have conversations. So just like that, it seems like something is broken in terms of your nurture process. So these are the two things I would immediately tackle going into your marketing. Again, it doesn't like Jalen, it's not the point of whether this is true or not. It's selling ice to an Eskimo. It's getting him to believe, like, oh, I never thought about it like that. Like, yeah, I have a lot of tire kickers. If I had this kind of messaging, would it attract higher buyer people? Can I target people by time? And I forgot to say this. The other thing that we would do, John, is you can actually target people by top 10% income earners. And a lot of marketers, what I've come to find is they just kind of leave it open. They don't actually target people. So what we would do is we have a message and make it look a certain type of way that would appeal to that type of target market. Does that make sense, John? Now all of a sudden you're not having tire kickers. Again, now all of a sudden he's like, oh, again, think about what I said, the aha light bulb moment.
Mhm.
Would he not have something like that? At that point, it's like, cool. So here's what I can do for you, John. I'd like to actually like break this all, actually like show you, because I know I'm throwing a lot your way. I think visually just seeing it would help you quite a bit. So now it's like, are you personable? Do you show that you're genuinely caring? Are you having a light bulb moment? Are you doing these kind of, now it's like, okay, yeah, let me have a conversation with Jalen.
That's awesome.
Does this make sense? Is this making sense?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna have to get this recording back and
So
then
right.
tweak my some of my responses. I just need to have some of the ammunition there so it will come to memory when I'm on the call, So yeah.
Part of it is like having enough business acumen reps. Again, this is what I'm saying. You got to go back to this core video. You got to go back to this core video, because if you go back to this core video, you're going to be like, oh, these are the, so it's like, okay, are you going to pitch to them that the issue is here? Or are you going to pitch them that the issue is here? Like what I just did is I pitched to you that the issue is here and the issue is here. So if you have to really understand this on a deep level. If you understand a deep level, like for example, let's say he's getting eyeball, let's say he's getting leads, and some of them are good, but like they can't close. It's like, okay, well, what's your current close rate? I don't know. It seems like 1 out of 50. Okay, got it. So your issue is here. Did you know the average close rate is about 30%? So what's kind of the script? Okay, so I can kind of break that down. We actually, a lot of the things that we do is we have conversations with our clients, we feed that into an AI bot, and then we pull out the perfect script for you guys, right? Like again, you got to figure out where is the issue and pitch them on that, right?
Mhm.
So I think a lot of what you're doing, my theory, again, just based off of what you've shown me or told me here, is you're kind of doing the same thing Shiro is doing, which is like kind of going as treating it like a script instead of being very conversational and giving people a light bulb moment. So it's like conversational light bulb moment, and then you still need the car analogy because that ties it home. If you do everything else right and you do the car analogy, it'll tie home.
Man, when I did that car analogy, he was like, really wouldn't pick either. He's like, I drive a piece of shit truck, And I was like, all right, but you probably would pick a Lamborghini. And he was like, yeah. He was like, for your analogy sake. But I was like, but I get it. So
Yeah, that was probably a little bit awkward.
it was. It kind of made me laugh, and I was like, got it. I mean, and I'm in the South, and he just works on roofs, so I'm sure it's not like a utility truck or something. So anyway.
that's
Okay. I see now. So you basically you utilizing the same method that we kind of got tailored into. So basically you're saying like, oh, I see your problem that's going on with, your business. Like you're not getting enough traffic coming in. And the reason why is because if you use Instagram ads, this you get 30% of this and you can do that. And you kind of speak it towards their language or in a certain way. And then, or maybe you get in there, you're not really nurturing. You see how I got you here through the ads that you hear, because you're hearing this call for a reason, correct? Yeah, I am on this call. Why are you talking to me? Like, so I see how you're kind of like spinning. If I'm going in the right direction of how
yeah.
you're kind of spinning the actual sales call to just maybe this might be right how you got me on here and I spent my money. If you utilize that thought process, I think the calls would be a lot more, could be, I mean, it might be a lot more easier from what I'm seeing from from talking for myself though, but from what I'm thinking, like, okay, if I just use how he came into me, I could just spin the same thing and be like, yeah, we're here now, da da da. This is, you need nurture leads, or you need eyeballs, or you need to funnel people in, and they get those like, yeah, I never looked at, okay.
Yeah, there you
You gave me,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad I stayed on the call because I was gonna go handle some business, but I was like, I think I need to stay. Okay, cool.
So the other thing I will say is, so remember, eyeballs is getting, using ads to kick eyeballs. Leads, naming his phone number. Both these have to be done on autopilot. So again, Jim, really important. I'm dead serious, right? You got to go and really understand this, okay? Nurturing people, this is like basically the follow-up is like, okay, what does a DM conversation look like? What does a discovery call script look like? The sales process is, what does the sales call look like? Okay. Now here's the thing is I don't really have anything to sell. If somebody's issue is here, like just straight up, right? If somebody's got an issue with their sales, I'm trying to sell videos and ads. Like, how am I, like, unless I have some kind of sales training, like, what are they going to pay me $1,500 a month for? This is delivering your product or service with the least amount of operational drag to achieve the highest dollar per year. Basically, this is a mouthful. What I'm saying is this is streamlining somebody's business, right? I don't have anything to sell here. Do I have something to sell here to get people to buy again? I mean, there's like the messenger, there's like the reactivation campaign that Mason was talking about. But like what I'm trying to get at is like, let's just say theoretically somebody's problem is here. There's not really much you can, like, we can't make money off of that. So everything that you pitch has to really focus on these three. So even if somebody's issue is here, 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 you kind of don't talk about it. Or you talk about it, but you really focus on selling here because this is what you have to sell. You're selling ads, you're selling a way to get leads, you're selling your AI bot or chat or whatever we're doing in order to work those leads. This is fundamentally what we're selling people. Does that make sense? So it's like you have to, what I'm trying to get across to you, Jalen, is you have to understand so on a deep level because you have to, again, this is just like understanding where business is broken versus working. But then your conversations, you have to really hone in on this stuff right here to get them to the finish line.
Right, right. I I actually have used that line like Mac was saying, like, that's the reason we're on this call. And then they're like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
and so it
Reflecting on this, reflecting on what people have been through is very powerful. That's one of the strongest things that you can do. Like, hey, do you remember the ad? Do you remember what got you to click?
right.
Remember the video? And they're like, yeah, I do. It's like, okay, that's what we're gonna do for you.
For tests, but for instance, you just mentioned something like you said, there's nothing really sell when they have a sell systematically or delivery or resell. So what you would do possibly is like, hey, I know you want to I want to qualify you to get better sales by nurturing, going back to nurturing the type of quality leads, eyeballs that you get, in the initial process, so you can get higher paying quality, service from your clients, whoever you look, whatever, you know what I'm saying?
You got it bang on, bro. Like you hit it on the head. It's like
I
the issue is they might tell you like, yo, bro, my sales has dropped. It's like, okay, got it. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna bring better people in using the ads because we can target blah blah blah. And once we've done that, we're gonna take you through. We're gonna use our nurture system AI da da da, so that by the time they show up here, they're hot and heavy, so that you guys can close much higher close rate. What I just said there, I think Mac, I know you got it. I can see your face, Jalen. Hopefully, you were able to pick up on what I just shared there. Because it's like even though their issue is here, I'm still pivoting and I'm selling this shit right here. I'm making it seem like you can't fix this problem. You can't fix this shit without fixing this shit, which is not what I'm selling you. Mac is like
Hey, I don't know. I don't care what you got going on like at level 5, but level 1 through 5, I'm gonna get them. I'm gonna get the honeys coming in. I'm gonna get the gentlemen's coming in. They're gonna be walking there with suits and coat ties and everything. And when they get to your door, just make sure you're ready for whatever you got going on. If you have problems with that, then that's a different conversation, different type. But I see. It makes sense now. I'm like, it makes sense.
Exactly.
Okay.
Good. All right, cool. So hopefully this has been valuable. Jalen, Mac, yeah, okay, cool. All right, I think that's so it's been a good call. It's been a long one. Anything else before I let you guys go? Anything else you guys want to go over? Mac is cheesing. You guys good?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
good. Hey, when I get to that time, then it's only gonna show like whatever I thought would it actually work. But I'm glad I'm doing this now because it's just like I'm getting a little what you call it, the BB pellets
Yeah.
in my chamber. I'm like, I already know what I'm about to say. Yeah, I got it. And thanks, Jalen, for your vulnerability and your situation, what you got going on. It
Oh yeah.
definitely helped because we would have never got here if you didn't have a pain point.
Oh yeah. No worries. We just trying to level up.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. For sure.
Okay. All right then, Jalen, keep me posted, please. Please update me. Say, if you got some calls like, hey, Chris, you gotta try these things. Here's how things are going. And then from there, I may not need to review anything. You might just be good. But if there are issues, then I'll have a look. Okay.
Gotcha. Will do.
Okay. All right, guys. We'll see you guys all next week.